on tight. Please keep your trays in the upright and locked
Flummery.
position.
The Flummery.
To the Flummery.
You do anything you want me to.
Flummery.
To your earlobes.
The Flummery. The Flummery.
To the Flummery.
To your earlobes.
Flummery.
Frosty the Frostage.
To the Flummery.
Sorry, this is Scuba Steve.
To the Flummery.
Flummery.
Frosty the Frostage.
To the Flummery.
Into the Flummery. To your earlobes.
Flummery.
You do anything you want me to. Earlobes.
The Flummery.
Oh man.
Welcome to the Flummery 48 with Lance and the Big Ladler here, coming at you live. We're joined by Evan Ogaard of Cold Kingdom and are happy to add our surprise guest, Ian Combs, tonight. They know each other. It will be evidently clear. Sorry we are a little late, but we wanted to accommodate our addition to the Permcast. Welcome, motherfuckers. This is your adult language explicit lyrics warning. Children, turn this shit off.
Yeah, let me just say that right after I swear for the first time.
I like
You
to
can
do it
say
that
fuck.
way.
Ah, fuck. Been
Fuck,
waiting
fuck,
all
fuck.
podcast to do that.
And we'll
Finally.
Literally seconds.
What up, buddy?
I'm here.
Yeah.
our last pack.
I got suckered in.
Yeah.
I suckered isn't necessarily, you got sucked in, I think is the best way to say it.
Well, yeah.
Whatever verb you want to... Is that a verb? Yeah. Adverb?
I got hand jobbed in.
Last pack.
Yeah,
got suckered
there was a lot of dicks
Sorry.
involved.
It's going to be weird. There's a delay on the
Oh,
video.
wow.
I just was saying sorry because I just keyed up the video so I can see the chat, and it went like 8 seconds ago. So, I'm fresh.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Wow.
I bet you got a lot to
Are
talk
we-
about, don't you?
Jeez.
He's
This
got
guy's
more than
stomping
me.
all
I'm just
over
here
me.
to be annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. We're done with that.
Well, we for sure established, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about the normal stuff, movies, Star Wars. We'll talk about both of your upcoming events and just go on from there. It's going to be flummeration of the biggest accord.
Oh, flummeration.
The best accord?
Flummeration, that's a good one.
It's the best accord.
Flummerization sounds a little more
Speaking of,
I like it.
official.
apparently got sound going on here.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
We're fucked.
So
It's
professional.
Echo
better
went
than
on.
not having any sound,
It's true.
which happened a few
That's-
episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Jason,
watched
no
that
lie.
one.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I got like 2 minutes into it. And I'm like, is there sound on this podcast?
No.
Is it just video podcast now? No sound whatsoever.
It's
But,
all mimed.
Yeah. What happened was I had a new interface and I didn't line it up right, so
If you're
we
watching,
figured it out.
sorry.
Things
If
happen.
you're watching, you can live chat with us on the YouTube link on Lance Adams or
Especially
the
if you have
Flummery's
questions for these
Facebook.
two doo-doos here.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo that
yeah.
you do.
You do, we
We're
do.
back to family
I do.
friendly.
Hoodoo's.
This is a Christian channel.
That's a
by the
real
way.
thing. We do Christian Side Hogs,
Oh boy.
ChristianMingle.com.
Yep.
The
This
Christian
is actually a
side
promotional video
Live
for.
links.
live links.
I'm thinking
You
live
mentioned
leak.
that earlier, didn't you?
Yes. Well, you said live links.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm like,
said
wait,
something.
Are we calling
I
live
think-
links?
I think live leaks is real, and I think live links is real too. I think that's an actual like Channel 9 broadcast still.
Yeah, that
phone
was
in
like
for
the-
sex.
Oh, is that?
The
think
2
it is.
a.m.
Yeah.
You're watching some horrible movie.
right? The movies Lance likes.
I always thought it was like one of the Comedy Central ones because they just roll those at like 2 a.m. to
Fancy
4
man
a.m.
had cable growing up.
Oh yeah, look at me.
yeah.
No, it was always at my friend's house.
He was privileged. You weren't.
No.
No, I
You said you
cable,
had
too.
some words about the flummery. What were you saying?
No, yeah, I was just saying words that I call like, you know, if I'm getting flummerized, like my post for the link, get flummerized, you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
Flummerization.
Yeah.
Flummer.
Yeah, vocab.
Get flummered, or what was the one that we had earlier?
Well, I had the flummergasm.
Flummergasm.
Okay.
Ooh,
That one's
Flummergasted.
Yeah.
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 Flumology.
Well, when you look it up, the flummery, the first thing it says it's like a pastry or something. Or
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I had Google Maps open to get here, and I said, "Okay, Google, don't do it." Just did it. I got my phone.
Stupid
open.
phone.
You don't live far from here, though, do you?
No, it
You're
was
right
like
up in
a
St. Paul, right?
Yeah, it was like a 9-minute drive,
Right.
not even. But yeah, I asked Google what flummery is, and it said something like nonsense or jokes or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
we kind of roll with.
And it's
Yeah.
a,
But
it's a
we can
fun
also
name.
be tasty pastries if you like.
Mm-hmm. Well, that describes Adam's underwear.
I would almost
Tasty
prefer it was
pastries.
tasty pastries. Yeah.
Plenty of icing.
Ooh,
All right. Well, see you later, guys.
That's why they call me Frosty.
a little bit of chocolate cake, a little bit of vanilla cupcake.
Remember, we are a family-friendly show here.
Sometimes a lemon bar every now and then.
Oh,
It has to be pretty cold out for that, though.
I'm actually thinking Star Crunch, and that's
Star
not
Crunch.
necessarily like a pastry, but
What about orange dreamsicle?
that's
That's a whole different thing.
Oh, you got
See
problems.
a doctor.
Yeah.
That's a hemorrhoid for
Mm.
sure.
Like blueberry pan. What is that? Blueberry waffle?
Blue
Blue waffle?
Blue waffles.
Please
yeah.
don't look that
Don't
up.
look
no,
it up.
I've actually gone
Never.
my entire life without looking it up.
Do not
look Really? that up.
Don't
Yeah,
look it up.
don't-
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Don't look it up.
That's like it. What are the things you're not supposed to look up? It's that. It's lemon party. You definitely don't look up lemon party.
Lemonparty.org.
That's the old guys, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we've all seen that.
We've all looked every. We've all seen most of
Right,
them. if
yeah.
not
Well,
all.
like the main ones back in the day were like Meat Swing,
Meat
and
Spin.
then Meat Spin, and then Tub Girl,
Tub Girl was the other one I was
and that
thinking
was
of.
horrifying.
It's still horrifying.
Yeah, that
Tub
was-
Girl.
that
I've never
was-
seen that one.
You never
Oh,
saw
God.
Tub Girl?
No.
Oh, please, God, no. I don't even want to hear about it.
I also haven't seen Two Girls, One Cup, but
You're not
feel
miss.
like...
You know, from what I heard, that was all fake.
But well, also from what that was
I don't know,
more
people
than
do
a
shit.
decade ago, I would think. At least
It's
10 years
about-
ago.
10 years
I
ago.
think that
10
sounds
years
like.
ago.
Yeah.
I think compared to today's internet, that's probably like small change.
Yeah.
You know, that was startling back then. I haven't seen it. I'm just guessing, but
That
You're not-
wasn't even dark
You're
web.
talking
though,
about Two
so-
Girls, One Cup.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's I could only watch like 30 seconds of it. And
Yeah, I would always come like right away too.
it's like, yeah, it is a challenge.
So I live chatted to the don't be ashamed. There are only 4 people watching now, but I live chatted to them. What's in your flum days? So I think we might get some good response.
Some,
We'll
some,
see.
some flumderwear.
Yeah, you flunderwear, if you will. Yes.
Jesus.
I mean, dude,
What?
nothing. No, I don't want to. I just fucked up the flow a little bit.
Whatever.
Why would you? I've never actually said your last name before, so I'm gonna say it's
It's Ingvoldson.
Ingoldson.
No,
No,
that's my
it's-
bass
It's
player.
very, very German.
It's
Ingebretson.
Yeah, Ingebretson.
Ingebretson.
Look
That's
at
a
he's
mouthful.
And
You
so
got notes over there, buddy?
Yeah, well, I had my list of things to.
Oh, okay. Talk about-
I've just been sitting
I
here
appreciate
throwing
it.
things on there, like
Well, that's good. You
It
came
pops in.
prepared.
well, that
Unlike
brings up.
this guy right here.
Well, we didn't exactly. give him
So the
time to
microphone wasn't prepared enough for you.
Good job, though.
Yeah.
prep.
Happy to
Sounds
help.
good too.
Mhm.
Sounds
Not
good.
that's how close we are. We
That
just
brings up.
high-fived.
Speaking of names, I was like, I'm kind of. I got a name crush on your name. It's like
Ogaard.
Ogaard.
You know, there's actually no. At least on
Is it
Facebook, there's
Norwegian?
not another. It's very Norwegian. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So it's Ingebretson.
What was it? Oh, there's not another Evan Ogaard on Facebook anyway.
You're the only one?
And- yeah, but about a year ago, I got a friend request from an Evan Odegaard, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy! I finally found another one that's close
Yeah.
enough." And it's like, "Where's this guy live? Norway?" Turns out this guy lives in Burnsville or somewhere, and
Jesus.
he's like a booking manager at
The garage,
At the
isn't it?
garage,
Yeah.
the garage. And
Wow.
and he went to McNally Smith, and it's like, how small of a world.
Yeah. Did you
Like,
take him out to dinner?
No, I should have. I really
No,
should've.
you got to be careful with that because that could cause like a little wrinkle or tear in the space-time continuum or something.
It's-
with
Yeah.
you two.
Almost
It's a
like
paradox.
a paradox.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into.
Right. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but he was just as amazed because he friended me and he hit me up right away like, dude, this is insane. And then I
Oh,
found
rep
out
you.
McNally Smith was closing via his Facebook profile, and so I started commenting on there, and he started replying to me. And then Jason came across it, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Because it's like Evan Ogaard, Evan Odegaard, Evan Ogaard, Evan Odegaard.
It's almost like your families could have walked off the boat together to 2 different people writing down, okay, who are you? Do you have fleas? You know, on Ellis Island. And one was like, Ogaard. Ogaard. Okay, good.
Ogaard.
Go. Here's your
Yeah,
paper.
close
Go.
enough.
Well,
What's your new name?
they were both the same name, and then one guy stuttered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been
Ogaard?
called
Ogaard?
Ogaard more times than actually Ogaard in my
Yeah.
day.
Really?
Yeah.
The Latin
Frustrating.
form of Odegaard.
So is it just
root
you and your brother?
ode.
You just have a brother, or you have any other siblings?
I have a half sister
Okay.
who is
Oh my God.
it's impolite to say age, but she's older than me.
Okay.
But yeah, she's
She's a full person, but half.
Yeah, she's just. That's insensitive.
I'm sorry.
I have half a sister. My parents weren't willing to spring for anything below the belly button.
Slice.
Oh man, she's older than you, and
Yeah.
you have your brother's older or younger?
My brother is 2 years older.
Oh, okay.
2 years and a month.
All right.
Yeah.
And you, Ian, do you have any siblings?
I do.
Okay. You
How
got
many?
a brother, right?
I have a younger brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
that
he
it?
like?
I mean, I haven't talked to him in like a couple of weeks, so or a week. I don't know.
Anything.
You know,
could have
every
happened.
time someone's like, I haven't talked to my family member. Usually it's like years. It's like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, a couple weeks.
Yeah. No, he's just
He's
and
lost
I are,
to the sands of time.
Yeah. He and I are just very independent of each other. He's 5.5 years younger than me, so
Okay.
you know we
Yep.
always kind of lived very different lives, very different social circles growing up. So.
But there's no hate there.
Oh no.
Okay.
I mean, not past the usual brother shit where you,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
occasionally punch each other.
Right.
My brother and I are unusually close. Like,
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
go- yeah.
Yeah, we're going there.
you want to go under the table? No, like we lived together in the same apartment for all together it was probably like 6 or 7 years, and just recently, my wife Angie and I moved out to move down the elevator, and literally are living in the same building as him still. So it's still just like every now and then, hey, you just want to come up? All right, come
Yeah,
up the
hang
elevator.
out.
It's super close.
Is he
and-
married too?
No, but he's getting married in 2019.
Next year?
End of 2019 summer.
Okay.
But
Is that a destination wedding, or are you guys just gonna have a local again?
it's destination, a
Burnsville.
place called St. Paul. Beautiful town.
Right.
But it is downtown St. Paul. Forget where it's.
And you were married in Bloomington.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was-
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was-
that's right. You did sneak in. At
Yeah,
the
I
end of
sneaked
that.
in.
Yeah,
That's
that was
right.
Yeah.
that was a fun end
Did
of
you
the night.
crash?
Jason did karate to filter.
Yeah, he did. It was.
He did.
There's video of that.
Yeah.
I also iced him with his own ice.
Oh,
which
that was good.
wonderful.
He had a giant. Did you get any of the vodka lemonade in the giant flask? He had the giant ass flask. Well, that must have gotten taken away because we were just passing around this flask. It was literally, you could probably fit half a bottle
Right.
of any liquor in there, and eventually the bartender came and took it away once he finally tracked it
Figured out
down where
what
it
was
was, because we would take a drink and hide it under a table. And
Oh,
we'd
yeah.
be like, where'd that flask go? But yeah, they didn't like that.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I ended up actually getting a room that night too, like right across the hallway.
That's
That's pretty
awesome.
sweet.
Nice.
Did you like put a cup up to the door, like listening for some?
No, yeah.
Ah,
When Evan was consummating the marriage
for the first time.
for the first time.
First
That's how you
time.
knew that you were across the hall.
I'm glad you guys waited. That's very Christian of you. It's like our podcast, so.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And you waited to drink till that day too. I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
too.
I'd never drank.
Never
before.
touched anything.
No.
This is actually my first beer ever. So,
Oh well,
Yeah.
this should get good.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
I remember my first beer.
Lift off.
But no, Airport Marriott. That's where we got married. I highly recommend it to all you
Couples, up and coming couple.
engaged couples out there.
Wasn't the Thunderbird?
The Thunderbird.
No, not oh. That place is is it gone now?
It's
It's
gone.
gone.
I've
Is it
not
gone
heard
now?
of that.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
It's
it's-
probably before my
It had
time.
a giant totem pole
Mhm.
Yep.
like thing up right next to the freeway, and they'd have like conventions and gun shows there and
Yeah.
I
stuff.
feel like I've heard of that before.
It was right by the Mall of America.
Yeah.
Was it?
It's on the north side.
Yeah,
There.
that's
Yeah.
pretty much
Oh.
why they had to get rid of it. I think they were just like, we're buying this, get out of here.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
That was like just in the last year or so, right?
It
Wasn't
was
it?
longer
I think it was a couple years
ago
back.
than
Was it?
that. It was in the last decade. I know that. It's definitely
Yeah,
at least.
it-
It was a couple years at least. yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not that.
it was
long
like
ago.
walking into a supper club. If you've ever been.
Yep.
like, it
good old
was-
Scotty Supper Club.
Yep. Exactly.
Dark, kind of dark
Yeah. It's
wood.
had like a lot of reds.
Yeah, the ambiance is quite
Yeah.
It was
Very
very
native.
60s.
rugged.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
bet you there's
60s
a
is
lot
good way to
of
say it.
like dirty
Yeah.
parties there.
lot of bowls full of keys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So in
Lot of
case
soiled
you didn't know,
flumbies.
Evan is the guitar player and a lot of the brains behind Cold Kingdom. So we decided to have him on because they are actually going on tour coming up here. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we should.
Sure. Kicks off March 1st in Mankato. I actually brought all of the dates so I could be prepared and actually look at these. But yeah, kicks off in Mankato at the What's Up Lounge March 1st, and then Minneapolis is the very next day. It's a Friday
It's a tough
at
drive.
Route 47. Yep, tough drive. Fridley.
Frickin' Fridley.
Frickin' Fridley, you know.
Right.
So it's going to be the debut of Eon,
Yeah.
if I'm saying that correctly.
You are saying
Yep.
it correctly.
I don't want those guys to get mad at me, but I've dedicated myself to saying it wrong. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Eon?
the band. Eon? Is this Eon? Eon?
It's
Eon?
French. You
Is
don't
it?
pronounce the
Eon.
N.
Ale.
Eon.
Yeah, I'm
Eon.
excited to see that.
Eon.
Sorry, Max.
Excited
Yeah.
to see that show.
That is actually going to be. I'm super excited to see those guys because, you know, we had Blaine do the acoustic show when we did that acoustic show a couple years ago, and I feel like that's the last time I saw Blaine perform, and it's such a shame because he's got such a powerful voice. It's like finally, I know he's been super busy out on like doing all these, you know, world traveling stuff, and
Yeah, life's been hard
it's
being out with Gojira.
super tough.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
Yeah.
I just got a little podcast boner there.
He's a real
Yeah.
Gojira is like
world traveler.
Yeah, he and
their style. Is
he went
more
out
like
and-
he.
went out and did a bunch of stuff with. He was helping run lights with Gojira.
That's fucking
Did
awesome.
he do the Metallica one, or no? Was that Pete?
With
Because
what's
I know
that?
Pete went out. Gojira supported Metallica in Europe like over the summer, I think.
Oh my God.
Did they? What am I looking at there?
What am
Jason.
I'd fuck me.
What?
What does the word say?
You just get that?
Yeah, he said, look at your Snapchat.
And he showed it to us, Jason. You're welcome. I'd fuck me.
Oh, he's not listening. He's rock climbing.
Don't you hurt my dog, lady.
Oh my God.
He's for sure not rock
Jason,
climbing.
did you put the lotion back in the basket or not?
You catch the guy who's killing all those really big fat girls?
Wow.
I couldn't find a basket.
So it's a month long,
Yeah, it's,
5 weeks.
5 weeks. We
Fuck.
go to Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona. We go to the West Coast. We go to San Diego. Then we're going all the way up to Medford, Oregon, which we hit on the Shinedown tour.
The Medford
And-
Outlet Center.
Medford's gonna be.
I'm sorry,
fun.
Come on.
We're playing the mall, just in the food court.
The food court.
They got a really good setup there.
Yeah.
Is it the
good
same
PA
venue or is it a
system.
different venue?
They have
It's a
3
different venue.
But it's same
9-inch
town.
Fender amps.
Same town, yeah. I think so. When we were there, with Shinedown, they basically just had a cattle barn where they do cattle auctions. It was just a giant warehouse.
Did it smell like it?
A little bit, not too bad though. It was pretty cleaned up, but it's like dirt floor. They just put a tarp over the whole thing, and yeah, crammed like 3,500 people.
Yeah,
in there.
that's
so
good.
we're definitely not playing that again.
Right. Yeah. So what's the venue that you're playing there?
That venue, as far as I know, is the Grape Street Bar and Grill. And then we're going from there to Idaho, and we're hitting Washington at Kennewick, which I've never actually heard of the town of
You're going to
Kennewick.
Oregon, Idaho, and then back to Washington?
We sure are. Yeah, and then
Welcome to tour
and
routing.
then we're going from Washington to Utah.
Enjoy the
so,
mountains.
Yeah, and then we got a couple days in Utah. We're playing Salt Lake City. Excuse me. Going to clear my throat.
It's okay.
You're
And then
good.
we're doing Greeley, Colorado, Manitou
Ooh.
Springs, and Denver. Denver's gonna be fun, actually.
Greeley sounds
My
legit.
buddy.
Greeley's fun. You're up in the mountains.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd love to go back to Idaho. It's a beautiful state, man.
I've not actually been there.
A buddy
This
of
will be
mine-
my first time.
Buddy of mine,
It's an underrated state.
buddy of mine spent a bunch of time there working the Idaho Shakespeare Festival.
Yeah.
Said he really enjoyed it.
It's a beautiful area.
Well, I suppose I queued this up. As you guys know, I'm just gonna play one of your solos here.
Okay.
And give guys an idea of how you write, how you play,
Okay.
at least on this project. And I thought this is a good time, I think, to just have this play. And
That's me singing.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a question about this song.
Meh.
That's right.
When you guys went down to do this,
Little sampler.
was this song already conceived, or was there help with Eric when he did it?
It was kind of
Eric
it was yeah, he actually rearranged and tore this one apart quite a bit. This one had like the it's tough because like a lot of it is similar, but it's completely different.
Right.
Like the crowd chanting thing, that's all new. He kind of took parts of the chorus and then rearranged it, so we cut a few things out. As far as like guitars and drums and all of that pretty much stayed the same with a little bit of rearranging, but yeah, he his main focus was a lot of vocal stuff.
That's cool.
And making things flow that way.
And I like the solo. It's kind of layered in two different sections.
Yeah, and that was actually that first part was just a riff, and then we were gonna go into my solo, but then Zach wanted to play something that's kind of like the same part as the riff, but kind of like more of a lead thing.
Mhm.
And then eventually it just kind of became this really Guns N' Rosey kind of like lead part that he ended up coming up with,
Right.
and it just stuck that way. So
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And if you guys don't know, Ian has also worked with Cold Kingdom,
Yep.
and he actually did which you did
The
Moon and the Fool?
the Fool.
Yep.
And the first two tracks, it actually kind of came before that.
Yeah,
like,
before it was like a big entity. It was
it was really before it was even a band.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of cool that.
so that was Let It Burn, and what else? What other one?
Resolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one was that was like maybe a year and a half after I'd been out of Crashing Daylight.
Yeah.
I started writing songs, and one of them was Let It Burn, and one of them was Resolution, and I wrote all the lyrics and stuff to it, and Ian just happened to come to me that week that I finished that song and was like, it's time to start recording some new stuff, huh? And I was like, all right, this is perfect timing. So then I sent him like 7 or 8 demos. Those ended up being the 2 that we ran with, and yeah, we started tracking that in the basement of a buddy of yours.
Well, it was a couple of buddies because I was.
yeah.
So wait,
that
it
was-
which two songs are?
Let It Burn and
Let It-
Resolution.
Resolution.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was like,
they
maybe
should.
Let It
They'd be the
Burn.
last 2 songs on the Moon and the Fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, that was I was getting out of an apartment situation, and I'd gotten out of I had like just a little studio room at one of the rehearsal spaces in Northeast, and we just kind of started slumming around with buddies that I could who had like spaces where we could work, and that's how we started doing that.
Right.
Yeah, so that was April of 2013.
Thanks for
And
making me feel old, Dick.
Yeah, well,
I
and then
mean-
we spent the entire summer tracking just guitars, I think. Just because it was such a relaxed thing. There wasn't a band.
Right, there
wasn't
wasn't-
a deadline.
Yeah.
We knew what the songs were. And it was just basically whenever we could find days, get together and track some guitars and stuff.
You remember the one day we were tracking guitars and like that storm blew through and dropped a tree on my grandparents' house?
Wow.
It was a huge storm.
Yeah, we were at Brett's place. Do you know Brett? Have you ever met Brett?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He's friends with Fluff. Looks like Gandalf.
What's his last name?
Lineker.
Brett,
But
I
it's,
probably met him.
but it's not spelled like it sounds.
Right.
Yeah. So we were at his place, and yeah, like Northeast got shredded and everything like that. It was a fun night. Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
got done.
So you're kind of, I mean, you're were a main influence on the so far the only album like legit released sellable album.
Right.
And it's kind of cool to have you guys here together.
So that was such a process too. Like we basically got through the guitars and said, well, okay, we need someone to drum on this, and Patrick Murphy had been the drummer for my previous band, and I was like, man, this guy is he just lights it up. Why wouldn't we just have him come in?
Yeah,
and-
he's a
and
great
do-
drummer.
Yeah,
Yep.
just do the tracks on this. So he came in and did them, and then at the end of it, I was like, so do you want to make a band out of this thing? And I don't think we had a vocalist in mind yet.
Yeah.
Make a band,
And,
baby.
Yeah. So basically, that's kind of how it started. Was just.
And you guys
this
recorded the drums at
nonchalant
River Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back when it was Waterbury.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah.
I
Same
didn't
place.
I didn't
Studios.
put that together. I didn't realize that Waterbury was River Rock.
Yeah, it was. There's a company in town called Waterbury Sound and Light,
Okay.
and he was upset that he thought there was some crossover possibility for confusion between Waterbury Studios and Waterbury Sound and Light.
Oh, okay. So it didn't change hands; it just changed names.
It just changed names. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He only owns one light.
On a very stage
Very-
of light.
Yeah.
And
Very
only one
important
microphone.
company.
It's just enough.
Everything else is special order.
Yeah.
But I think when we went into mastering for those two songs,
Mhm.
I don't think I had a band name picked out. It was still Claiming Kingdoms, is what the original name was. So that's what's on the master CD for Let It Burn in Resolution.
Oh yeah.
It's
Holy
what,
shit.
what did it
That's
say?
cool.
It said Claiming Kingdoms was
Okay.
because that was just like what I was kind of like workshopping in my head,
Mhm.
and Greg was like, "We need a band name to put on the CD." So
Was it the guy that mastered it, right?
Yeah,
Ryerson or
Greg-
whatever.
Greg
Ryerson,
Ryerson,
yeah.
And we're gonna develop that into a massive role-playing game.
Claiming Kingdoms.
Claiming Kingdoms, yes.
I do like Cold Kingdom better. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. We workshop.
I
that.
thought I cast the deciding vote in that name.
You did, yeah.
I believe I did.
See how important
You're
Ian
the
is?
you're the well. It was 5. You're the 5th member of the
Yeah,
band.
I'm like the 6th Beatle or
Yeah,
something like
right.
that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Of Cold Kingdom,
Right.
whatever that.
Now you're the 5th member of Eris right now.
Yeah, yeah. I tend to be the
Actually-
N+1 guy in
yeah.
bands.
I didn't even have to track that. He actually tracked
So,
some guitar for me.
Ian,
I'm like,
again-
all right.
That's the nice thing. It's like, yeah, I tracked my guitars today.
So Ian is working on the Eris album too now, is
Right.
what you're
Yep.
alluding to, and I just
That's correct.
throw that in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's sounding amazing. The drums are fucking amazing
Yeah.
How many songs are you guys doing? 5?
right now.
5 songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm in the midst of like writing new stuff, just so we can have some new stuff to play when we put this out too. So
I love everything, but I have been lobbying for more fart noises in the.
can we add those in the
You
tracks?
could probably
Farts?
you could
Yeah.
work it into like the kick sample.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually heard. I don't know if they
Actually,
were like.
I'm thinking it's got to be a floor tom thing, so it can like end a drum fill with a.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like,
Actually,
exactly.
Well, you can put a whistler in the guitars. Like,
you can do it through that Steven Slate stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, he did that whole fart sample pack.
I'm sorry, I made it a fart.
you serious?
talk. Damn it,
You never
I
saw
made it.
that?
No,
Just,
Oh yeah,
it's not
Steven
gonna
Slate
end.
did a whole fart sample pack.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, if
For
you could,
April
like,
Fool's Day.
It's not even April 1st. It's not even close to April 1st. No, you should replace the ride bell with a fart.
Oh yes. Yes.
Take that, Mike Portnoy.
oh.
Rapid fire
That's awesome.
farts.
Yes, sir. So, what's the last date of your tour?
Last date of the tour is in Lincoln, Nebraska.
And that kind of came about more recently, right?
Yeah, that's actually still being worked on. If I'm not sure.
When some
but,
band
what's
that
it-
in that area is helping you out with that one, right?
Yeah, it's a band called Layton, which they actually hit us up probably half a year ago about getting a show down there, and just had too much stuff going on at the time, so it's finally working into the schedule, and it'll be first time not playing in Omaha.
Dude,
Nebraska,
Lincoln's
but-
an underrated town.
Yeah, I've actually never been to Lincoln.
The
I might have driven
Haymarket
through
in
it,
Lincoln
but-
is fun. Like it's a cool. Nebraska is an underrated state if you stay on the east side of it.
Right. Yeah.
Like Omaha and Lincoln are actually like
and
cool towns.
I've
Lincoln
driven through
is-
Nebraska to going to Denver, and
Yeah.
it's cool. But once you get past that, it's
Yeah, it's
What's the
cornfields.
bridge thing
it's piss on
that
a
goes
plate.
over the freeway that we?
It's a bridge.
I stopped by there.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It's like the
It's
yeah.
out of town, just out of
It's
town,
basically here. It's like where you walk over the freeway.
but it
you know
has
what I
a
mean?
store in it.
Yeah,
and shit,
yeah.
and like a restaurant.
An overpass.
Is it like the
Gateway-
overpasses in Illinois?
You know what I'm talking
Yep,
about? You
Yeah.
get-
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
more rustic because, of course, it's Nebraska. You
Yeah.
can't have anything with metal showing.
It's probably got like a horseshoe in the middle of it somewhere, like hanging out. you know?
For some reason, I always thought that those were just like McDonald's, like really fancy McDonald's. I don't know
You,
why.
you see them in the, like overpasses and like I've seen them in other places
Yeah,
like
Illinois.
Well, yeah, like
Illinois
like
have 'em.
Illinois if you're
Yeah.
like 90 going into Chicago or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Yep.
Which is a good use of
Oh,
space.
I have another question for you on your tour. So you're doing it with Sleep Signals, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
And you guys is it co-headlining or are you guys headlining it?
It's co-headlining, so essentially any of the days that it's a market that we've been to, we'll be we'll be headlining, and that's if it's a market that they've been to in the past, then it's their headlining show, and we kind of just switch off like that.
Yeah,
A lot of the ones that we're going to be headlining are some of the Midwest ones, and then the West Coast ones that we hit with Shinedown on the last tour. So
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Evan,
gonna
you
be-
are gonna get it.
Can I do this?
You can absolutely do this.
Evan,
Stevie.
I'm gonna get
He's
it
the
wrong.
drummer of
I wanted,
Aeon.
yeah.
Of
Oh, now
Ale.
Lance is just interviewing anyone apparently. It's funny because aren't we having somebody on from Aeon?
Yeah, we're gonna have Blaine on. We're getting Blaine on in the next couple month or two here.
What the fuck
I didn't
is
even
wrong
mention
with you,
Evan.
Lance?
Oh man, he's
You don't have
gonna
super
be
chats
mad.
enabled for donations. Oh fuck! What?
There
Money?
can only be one Evan.
Thank you. We're gonna look into that, Evan. There can
Yeah,
only be
he's-
one.
He's the drummer
And it's-
He is.
from the new project.
Kyle Glynn,
Yes.
bass player.
Yep. Yeah. Well, let's not bring
Yes.
Kyle into this, huh?
Oh god.
I mean,
Oh, poor Kyle.
I know.
Oh, I have another question while we're on the tour thing.
Mhm.
So it's you two bands, and then are you just have local acts and stuff that fill in when you guys are playing, or do you?
yeah. So far, most of it's just been local acts from the area. We usually put that on the promoter to try to
Fill those
like
spots.
they know the area best. They don't need to do all the research that we would have to do. Looking into
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, they're gonna
Yeah.
pick the best places where you're not gonna get shut out or whatever.
right.
You're gonna get places with good like merchandising and advertising and stuff.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
So that'll be
it's nice to work with that.
pretty much the majority of shows will be local band openers,
Yeah.
and then
Are you familiar with any of them besides the one from Lincoln?
not particularly, but I am super excited to be playing in Denver with my buddy Kyle Kaufman, who used to be my drummer in Crashing Daylight. He lives in Denver, and his band is Thousand Frames.
Okay.
So it'll be the first time that he'll have seen Cold Kingdom, and the first time that I'm seeing his band.
Sweet.
We're playing on the same bill, and that's another one that Ian Combs,
Yeah,
the
I know,
master
yeah.
worker,
Yeah.
happens to be working on. They're actually driving up from Colorado
Yep.
to be working with Ian here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When is
and,
this?
Middle of next month.
Okay.
awesome.
They're coming to do. I think it's just like 3 tunes or something.
Okay.
Just kind of.
Are you just gonna hack them out?
It's gonna be a weekend. I think he's got a
Come
he's got a
on.
drummer.
That's a good way
he's-
to ask.
He's got a drummer lined up to track drums somewhere else. So we're just doing like guitars and vocals here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I think it's just gonna be like a long weekend thing. Yeah, we're gonna it'll be a little more like let's just get in the room and get it all done.
Okay.
But that's a fun way to make records too. So
Yeah.
I'm totally down.
Yeah. Good. So do you have the roughs or like the pre-pros or anything like that from them?
I've got some of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Although if Kyle does hear this,
hmm
Kyle, send me the ones
I'll
with
make-
the vocals on them. you
I'll
jerk.
make sure he hears it.
Yeah, please do.
They did release a song that they got on radio in Denver, and it's super catchy, man.
It is.
Like,
They have it on
It's-
like a local thing, or do they just
Yeah,
like we're gonna
yeah.
play it as often?
I'm
Like
not
in
I'm
rotation,
not sure
do you think?
about that. I
That'd be
don't
cool.
really know about the radio stations
Denver's-
in Denver much, but
Denver's a really good. It's a well-rounded kind of art style community.
I
You know, when
believe
we
it.
talk about art, music, and stuff,
Yeah, it's a good
yeah,
time.
they're pretty cool.
Mhm.
I think it's probably they've got a lot. They've got a lot going for them. Marijuana.
marijuana.
No, but they do. I've been there once, and I had a blast.
It's a great town.
Yeah, I actually really like Denver. I love Colorado Springs as well.
I have
That
a
one's
I have a buddy that
beautiful.
just moved a couple years ago.
I want to go there.
He's
I've never
yeah.
been there.
my buddy Darren moved to Colorado Springs, and I think this summer I'm going to take a trip and go out there and see him.
Fuck yeah, you
Dude,
should.
do
Do
it.
some hiking and shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
get up in the mountains
Yeah.
too. Like go down to Park County. Like South Park's for real, man.
Yeah.
It's legit. I did a week out in a couple of times out in Fairplay, which is just outside of the town that South Park is based on.
Okay.
Which is I think between there and Breckenridge. But
Not nearly as funny, but it's still
yeah,
cool.
it's and not as animated either. Which
right.
is weird. But living at like 9,900 feet
Yeah.
is like it's just a trip
Yeah.
because at the time I was in college, I was playing rugby, I was in good shape, and I'm like, okay, I'll go for a jog. I lasted like 3 minutes.
Right.
I was like, "Fuck this,
Speaking
I'm
of
going
which,
home."
Less
I've been
sweat
the
and
first
less
time I've been to
breathing.
Breckenridge. We were driving through, and we stayed in Breckenridge, driving to California, and that the elevation there's like 9,900 or
Yep, it's
10,000
right up
feet,
there, yeah.
and that's the first time I ever got elevation sickness.
Yeah.
And we went out for a beer.
That
Like I
was
had 2
bottle
beers,
flu.
right?
And you were
Right.
probably just done.
I was
Yeah.
fucking cranked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Crank.
in Breckenridge
You
last
dizzy,
time.
or-
Like in August, I was out there kind of for my family reunion, and yeah, my cousin took us out to Breckenridge, and altitude sickness
Yeah,
is real,
yes.
man. Like,
Is there a
Dude, I was
Dramamine for
I
that?
fell into my
There-
I fell
I
into
think
my
so.
bed. I
Really?
was like,
That'd be
"Ugh."
awesome.
yeah.
fucked up.
It's an awesome little town.
Yeah,
Like
the
it's
cops drive
that
fucking
Main
Range
Street.
Rovers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you got all the money in the world
Yeah.
hanging out there.
I have my Range Rover Copmobile.
Like all the rich people, we don't want to see fucking Fords driving around in our community.
That's a neat town, man. It's very cool.
I
Very
actually
Ford.
golfed there.
Oh,
and
really?
That's a trip too.
That'd be awesome. Did
Like-
you walk it?
No, I wouldn't have fucking
Just
survived
like-
that.
Oh my god.
No, but the nice thing is, I mean, like that elevation, like the ball travels, man. Like I hit a
Yeah.
300. I think it was like a 300-yard drive uphill.
Yeah,
I can't hit 250 down here.
yeah.
Like I'm a terrible golfer.
I hit
so
about
there's-
250, 280.
Yeah, but like I hit the fringe at about 300 yards, and it was uphill.
Right.
How do I enable super chats? This is great.
Is that Evan
Super
again?
chats.
He says you can donate with super chats. Maybe
Turn
we
it
don't
on
have.
then. Yeah.
I don't think we can now. I think we got to set it
Evan,
up.
stop
we'll go to our
yelling at
channel.
us.
Yeah, you gotta have some probably.
He's got the
Gosh.
sunglasses on. He's being cool here. The sunglass emoji. I was gonna, when you said 300 yards uphill, you kind of ruined my joke, which was a horrible joke. Rather than be like, the best part about golfing there is all the holes are downhill.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
No, they do run them
300
back up
yards uphill, I guess, because just the air is thinner. Or
so
what?
much thinner.
That's awesome.
Dude, if you
I take that.
if you get a hold of it, they carry, man.
Wow.
It's legit.
Then you come golf down here, and it's like,
But if you spend a week up like that high, and like you're any sort of athlete at all or whatever, and then you come back down here and there's
Bring back
oxygen
parts.
again.
well, it builds up your blood cells.
Yeah. So you
So-
come back here and it's like, oh my god, there's all this oxygen.
Yeah.
You guys want to just go running
Yeah.
for the next week and a half?
Like, I feel healthy.
I have an extra oxygen boner.
You and your boners.
I don't know. There is a
Very
episode where I
specific
do
list of boners.
do a chronology. I do a chronology of my boners from like baby boner all the way up to like scare boner, my first fear boner.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all that. But
It's got a boner diary.
I should have friggin' written it down.
At what age did you get your first shame boner?
Oh, had to be like 13 or so.
3 p.m. on March 2nd.
Exactly.
He's got it. He's
Now,
got it.
ever since, they've always been shame boners. Why am I doing this to myself? Yes.
I still haven't gotten the hair on my palms, but my vision's getting a little weaker.
Well, you know what they say? It's like a sore dick. You can't beat it
Oh, jeez.
until you can again.
Immediately. So
I'm
I
sorry.
asked this to Jason too. You guys are just, I mean, now that Zach's gone,
Mhm.
love the guy. You guys are
Did you
just,
just
not
do the
dead.
sign of the cross? Or was this like Matthew? Or
He's
what?
not, no, he's not. He's not that kind of gone.
Yeah.
He's still
yeah,
with us.
Yeah, still with us.
He's still
but like,
awesome, you guys. He's
yes.
still awesome.
So you're just sticking as a 4-piece.
Yeah, we're rolling as a 4-piece, kind of, seeing how it goes, and so far it's been pretty good. It makes it way better as the accountant of the band for touring.
Right.
Like no matter what, like having one less person, whether it's a bandmate or like someone that you bring on the road, like a road crew guy, like that's quite a significant amount of money over the course of 5 weeks.
Right.
So it's a blessing in disguise in that we can now afford to do this a little cheaper if we want to go out on the road for 5 weeks, come back, and then go out for 3 more weeks, come back, do it again.
Right.
And on a tight budget, it's sorry to say,
you
but
warming
you
up?
got to think about that stuff.
No,
So,
for
You want something?
No, I'll live.
You sure?
do you want a beer?
No, that won't help me either.
I'm
So
always like,
you guys,
just hook it to
now
my
that you got this tour
veins.
going, this is your longest one that you've had.
Yes.
Do you have something burning? Hopefully set up later too.
Well, we don't have anything solidified yet, but we're kind of thinking late June, early July is kind of when we want to get back out there and maybe do something a little more towards the East Coast.
Yeah.
Almost said West Coast. We
Yeah.
haven't been to the West Coast enough. But yeah, we've never been anywhere east. Like apparently, according to Ian, Indiana,
It's true, man. Indiana's
Indiana,
not bad.
Yeah.
Is it?
Really?
Ohio,
Well,
Pennsylvania.
People going to shows and enjoying it and stuff.
And just for touring bands, like the East is better than the West
Okay.
because it's everything's so much closer together.
It is.
And you don't have a
It
big
is
ass
the
mountain range
best.
to
Right.
cross.
Yeah.
So
All the states are like a sixth of the size of anything that
Yeah,
anything
you get to the
west.
Rockies, and then
Yep.
you've got the Appalachians, and you get Everclear and shit. So it's all
Yeah.
good.
But no, traveling east in all the years when I was doing that sort of stuff, like what Evan's doing, the
Back
east
when
was
you were
all
a spry young man.
back when I was a spry young man. Yeah, now I'm a spry old man.
Show us your spryness.
There it is,
That's-
folks. You have it.
There you go. There's
You just
literally
got-
every ounce of spry I had left in me.
bucket loads
Beautiful.
of spry.
Spry guy.
Beautiful thing.
But no, there's good towns. There's all the college towns and stuff out there. It makes a big difference for touring bands because when you don't have to drive 10 hours between
Right.
shows,
You're literally traveling not even half a day barely.
exactly.
You know?
Like it's from here to even just like the nearest next decent sized city is Des Moines. Really, that's 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that is.
Des Moines, Chicago, Madison, Milwaukee. All those they're a bit of a drive, but then you start getting past that. You go through Indiana. There's a bunch of good towns in Ohio.
Everything's closer together.
Everything's closer together. And then you get into the South, and the South is just more fun.
Yeah.
Like, just way more fun.
You know what would suck though?
Mastodon
When I always
territory.
thought about it, Florida would suck.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Because here's the deal with Florida. You have to
Shaped like a penis.
do a tour on the Atlantic side and then come back up maybe if you're gonna hit like St. Petersburg or Tampa.
Yep.
But it's just you're in a thumb and
Yep.
you go down and back up.
Yep.
It's not like you can just cut across to go to Texas. You have to go back up.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah.
I've always thought about that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to. Florida's something you have to plan out pretty carefully.
What's
Not to
right
mention
in
you
the
got to
middle?
dodge Florida man the whole time.
Yeah. What's that?
What is right in the middle of Florida? Would it be
Orlando.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big rock town. Orlando.
It is.
Is it really?
It's not a bad rock town.
I just think Disney.
No.
That's all I think. of.
Well, no, there are things in Florida that aren't Disney World. I mean, there aren't many things, but there are things. I know.
They
Yeah,
should
it's
just
where you
And
go
then
to
if you
die.
hit up Miami, that's pretty much right before you get the Keys. Like
Yep.
it's literally the last big town before.
I just
you
don't
hit the
want to
Keys.
go somewhere where people is like, this is where I'm going to go to die. It just has that whole.
I've actually
Aura.
been there
So
5 times.
So you don't go to the
six
doctor or the
times.
hospital.
Well, you know how I
either.
feel about that. You know how I feel about that.
I
I've been
do.
looking down there though, down in the Keys actually.
Oh, I was just talking to some dudes who were in town for the Super Bowl. One of the dudes used to work for the Ravens, and he was saying that like Ray Lewis and who's Ed Reed, like all those guys have places in the Keys now.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson, that's
Yep.
on Fox
That's cool.
Fox Sports. Like they all live down there.
I've been looking at property on Big Pine Key right now, which is like half an hour outside of Key West.
Mm.
It'll be great.
You might be able to talk me into that.
Yeah, you can come down and visit.
Okay.
When it's not
Yeah.
when it's hot, though.
No.
Dude, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And I just want to be on the ocean and fish. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Be like Dexter.
Yeah. Get rid
Well,
of some
I was
bodies.
gonna say finally you have a place to
You
store
can
all
come
those
down, but
bodies.
you're
Yeah.
never leaving. If you know what I'm saying.
I'm there.
If this tour doesn't go well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
won't-
man, you guys should definitely hit up the East Coast though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been
Oh, yeah.
wanting to do that for quite a while, especially New York. Never been anywhere on the East Coast,
Really?
high or north of South Carolina, like Charleston,
Okay.
South Carolina. I've never been anywhere on the East
Yeah.
Coast other than
Manhattan's a fun town.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list
Right.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to go out there once I get drugs for my fear of flying.
Oh, you drive.
I was gonna say, you
Super
can-
I
close.
guess,
Right.
yeah, you can drive. It's super close.
It's only 20. Well, it's 24 hours.
Yeah. You can get there in no time.
Just
Yeah.
a quick 24.
Just a day. Well, I mean, like if you got
Hop
some
on in
people, I've
there.
done that drive straight pretty much. I went from Hartford, Connecticut back to here in
That's
one
not bad.
shot,
Yeah.
which was like 22 hours.
Well, my
Boston
friend Rob
to New
drove us
York
to
is
Denver
literally
in
a
14 hours.
3-hour drive, I think, something like that.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Once you get there,
You go anywhere.
it's so accessible.
Yeah.
It's also accessible.
I mean, you have to deal with some traffic, but
and
Yeah.
New Yorkers, but
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Denver is 13, 14 hours. You get to Denver,
Yeah.
and it's like you're not even halfway to
Right.
the coast yet.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
On that drive we did to Breckenridge, we left at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and we made it to Breckenridge by 10 p.m. with some stops in there. You
Mhm.
know,
That's not
not bad.
awful.
no,
That's like here to
you
Nashville.
can do it. If
roughly.
you've
Yeah.
got people with you, yeah, it's way better.
hmm
for sure.
I took the Wyoming route to Denver once. Don't do that.
Why is that? It's just
It's
so
just
much more.
the east side of Wyoming. You basically come into Wyoming and then you just go straight south along the state
Yep.
line, and it's worse than Nebraska.
It's barren.
Really?
Yeah, it's so
Yeah, I've been
bad.
through there.
Oh,
I've actually cut up through Casper.
Okay.
You know Casper, Wyoming. Yeah, I've kind of took the back route to South
Well,
Dakota.
Casper's got some elevation to it here and there, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Eh,
Isn't that kind of starting the?
Can you make that sound again?
Gets windy.
Thank you.
Eh. We're gonna sample that.
I
Yeah.
don't
We're
know.
gonna need
That's,
that later.
that's
we're
gonna
gonna
be
put that
on
on
right
the
on
Steven
Titan.
Slate samples.
Lance's sex noises.
Have you ever heard of loop play in Pro Tools?
You just can't do it when recording's armed.
Yeah, exactly. Lessons we've all learned.
Except me.
I'm learning a lot from you, by the way.
I'm happy
You can
to help.
hit 3 and record with the number 3 on the numeric pad,
That's
which
true.
I had no idea.
Yep.
No idea. What does 1 do?
1 moves your cursor back like one
Cursor
grid
back,
line.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are we doing
And
on
then 7?
7 turns your click on
Click,
and off.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
click.
That's a big one. That's a huge one to know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anything to avoid
Uh,
keys or mouse clicks,
I
man.
think 4 or 5 is markers or something like that. Something useless like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then the whole period dot, or period number pad period
Mhm.
to navigate
For
all your
markers.
markers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you say
The
decimal
first command
point?
I learned on
No.
Pro Tools was Control E, which splices a track.
Mhm.
Yep.
That was my very first thing I
Well,
probably
and-
learned.
well,
Absolutely not.
And the problem here is that someone wasn't showing you keyboard focus mode.
Right.
I still
'Cause-
don't use it.
You don't use
I don't
keyboard?
use
Oh
it.
my god.
Is it just so
How
much
do you do
faster?
anything? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is like this is the thing about
Pull your
McNally
head out.
Smith was like I didn't realize it at the time, but Record Theory 1 was extremely useful. And all it was is you go into the classroom and you sit down and they hand out a packet of Pro Tools shortcuts and you just go through shortcuts for 45
Right.
minutes and it's just
Awesome.
like drilling into your brain and
Right.
then you get to go use them in Record Lab. But like I'm sitting down like this is Record Theory. I'm not like learning. I mean, obviously the entire course wasn't that, but that was a good solid chunk of the class was learning workflow and shortcuts,
Right.
and that ended up being one of the most useful things.
Well, yeah, it saves you
It's,
time.
yeah.
See, myself, I never had school. I just bought Pro Tools and taught myself.
Yep.
That was
That's how
it,
I did it.
You know, so
Yeah, my Record Lab 1 first semester, I walked in, and then it's a small Record Lab. It's like 4 or 5 students, and there's this guy from Chicago. I'm like, oh yeah, there's the Pro Tools HD rig and got a couple compressors there. Okay, Trident board, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what a Pro Tools is. and
what's a Pro Tools?
Should I start with amateur tools?
yeah, I knew nothing about recording anything.
Yeah,
like
how did you decide to do it? Were you always playing? Did you play?
You have
Well, my-
intramural tools.
I had a high school band that I
Okay.
played in, and loved playing guitar. And my high school senior project was with a buddy of mine, and we recorded a 7-song CD with another friend of ours who actually recorded it for us. I didn't know how to record, and
That's quite an accomplishment.
so yeah, we made this 7-song disc for our senior project, and it was probably the most fun thing that I did
Right.
senior year. And so I looked
Yeah.
at McNally Smith and I was like, yeah, I like playing guitar. I'm thinking about doing performance major. And the more I thought about it, like, there's going to be a million guitar players, which there were, and I wanted to pick up something that I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know.
So what did
anything
you
about
That's
make?
a
What
good
did you
movie.
What did you study? What did you actually go for?
I went for music production. I did the 2-year degree, which
Okay.
was the first year that they actually had the 2-year one that you could actually do instead of the 4-year bachelor's degree, and definitely worth it for a 2-year degree there. But yeah, I knew nothing.
Just a
going
good
into
choice to kind of broaden your
Yeah.
scope of what you're going to be able
that.
to do.
And they send you this packet that's just like 8 pages to fill out to test general knowledge. They just mail it to you, and they say, "Don't cheat on this." But you open it up and like, what's the standard bit depth and sample rate and all this stuff, and I'm like, Google. Obviously that's 44.1K and 16-bit, and send it back, and obviously they accept because, I don't think they would turn anyone down at that point.
Right.
But yeah, actually, that first Record Lab, knowing nothing. By the end of that semester, I was the only student left in Record
People
Lab
didn't.
1. They just
so
dropped
many
out.
people wash out.
All of
Really?
these students,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like they knew quite a bit about like the basics of recording, and
Why do they drop
didn't-
out? They just
They just most people don't realize how much mundane work there is in recording and being a music producer, and how
Right.
much you need to
Oh,
know
yeah.
about. First of all, you need to know the basics of music theory in general, and you also need to know this entire
Okay.
list of microphones and yeah.
I don't have that.
Basically just learning a channel strip. Record Theory or Record Lab 1 was basically learning a channel strip and learning a couple basic microphones and just learning how to get it to make sound through
Okay, I
the
can do
board.
that.
Right.
But yeah, that
I've
was
done that.
essentially what
I
it
think
was.
you can do that.
I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. And then the last couple days of that class was just like me and the teacher. Like he just goes,
For
"All right,
real,
what
it
do
was
you-"
just you. It was
just me and the teacher.
Really?
He's like,
That's awesome.
"What do you want to do?" We're we went through everything
teach you
that
some stuff.
they needed to teach, and it was just like, "What do you want do. It was just like two guys hanging out in a studio, essentially.
Fucking the best job ever
Yeah.
as a teacher.
That,
Like,
that was really fun.
just hang out with this guy who's actually dedicated
Did you-
and really, who is creative and will make something.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking
Were you
cool.
going to school full time at that point?
Yeah.
Not good for
Yeah.
the school,
Yeah.
but good for you.
Okay.
Full time.
So you're doing like 5-6 classes at a time?
Yeah.
5?
And they really stripped the 2-year program down to basically the essentials. You had record lab, record theory, MIDI lab stuff. You had microphone class was semester 1, where you just learn all of like the staples, and you have to know their frequency responses. And
That's
there was-
nerdy shit.
Yeah, there's so much just like tech stuff.
Not a lot.
Well, and then the thing that I think a lot
It's
of
a good
kids
thing,
don't
though.
get when they go into a school like that is like, oh, we're gonna know about all these things, and it's like, yeah, you can learn about them, but then it's like, okay, how do you actually turn that into like practicable knowledge that you can
Implement-
actually use on a session?
implement-
Okay, and
it's
did you
in-
go to school?
No,
You're all self-taught?
I am.
Well, you said
yeah.
you went to school for something.
I went to the U of M for English,
Nice.
which because that was the only thing I could study and not go on a 5-state killing spree.
How's your English?
Ah!
It's okay.
That's bueno.
Warning signs.
It's okay.
No,
okay.
you know,
Got the subtitles.
the irony for me is that for as much as I've not been I question the value of secondary education or post-secondary
I do
education
too.
at this point.
At least in the form that it's in.
Yeah, well, or at the amount it's being sold.
Well, they
You know?
shove it down your throats in high
Right.
school.
Right, exactly. Like, we all grew up in an era of like basically it was like, oh, if you're not going to college,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
obviously failed.
You're
Yeah.
totally fucked. Like it's over.
Yeah.
Your life's
Right.
over. You
I got a
kill
4-year
yourself.
degree and I'm a bartender.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all the kids who went to trade school and became carpenters are all making 6 figures a year now because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
journeymen or
not a bad-
master carpenters.
I met a guy that dropped out of school last night. I mean, he took me fucking $100 last night. He dropped out of school when he was like 10th grade, and he's a programmer now.
See,
Yep.
that's what happens with a lot of people.
I got
is
a cousin like that.
They're above. I mean, not necessarily above, and they don't necessarily think they're better
He
than
doesn't.
everybody else there, but they're not getting what they need because it's so like school is so formatted.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's tough with, and it comes to class size and all this other stuff. I know there's limitations to what you can do, but they don't have not the patience, but like the brains aren't the same, and these can be really talented, really smart people. Some of the smartest are the people who do drop out and stuff.
hmm
It's kind of funny that it happens that way.
Well,
but
it's-
they're like,
yeah.
I'm not getting anything out of this. They feel like there's no value there.
Yeah.
And
And I
Well,
think that's how he felt.
And it's a question of fitting into that mold.
so drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My-
So
It is.
My senior year of high school, I decided that I was going to go to McNally Smith basically the beginning of the year, and I had been through like AP math classes all the way up,
Yeah.
AP English, all these advanced classes,
Yeah.
and I was about to my docket of what I would be going into if I kept doing that would have been advanced physics, advanced calculus, and I can't remember, some other science class like biology, advanced biology or
Right.
something. And I looked at it and I was like, well, I'm going to a music school. I don't want to do any of this because it's not gonna not gonna help me at all. And my advisor was like, are you sure you don't want to, like, this is gonna
Yeah, there
look
they
so
are
good
trying
at-
to,
yeah,
like
this is gonna look so good on your college
sprinkling the
thing." Yeah.
fucking.
It's like my music college isn't gonna care if I took physics, So I basically took algebra again, regular English, which we watched Firefly.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
for-
I love
for-
that fucking show, man.
It's
Yeah.
a sweet gig.
it's a great show.
I don't know why we watched it.
'Cause
The
it's
teacher
awesome?
the teacher just liked it, so we just watched
just
that
like,
in
Your
English
teacher
class.
is fucking sweet.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
regular English, so sit
This
down
is
and
regular
shut
English, which, by the way, the advanced English class that I took the year prior, I had to write a novel.
up.
I had
Really?
to write a novel, and,
Oh.
and it was like, half the class was like, "Yay, this is gonna be awesome! I know exactly what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna write about." And I'm
Well-
sitting here with my thumb up my ass, like, "What am I? I'm not a writer. I don't want to do this." My novel didn't get finished until like 2 weeks after the end of the school year.
Yeah.
Because
What was it
the
about?
last moment
That's
you
some
could turn
like
it in.
space science fiction thing that I wrote, and 'cause
Attaboy.
I was into like Halo at the time.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm just gonna basically rip off the storyline of Halo. But yeah,
We
but
got
I'm
him.
I'm not
Plagiarized.
That matters
there it is.
now.
Yeah.
Call my publisher. But no, like I sent it to her via email after school was done, and then I had to get my English grade corrected when I went to school the next year for the year prior because it was a did not complete, and then I had to get it changed to like a B or whatever it was. But
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't lie. It was
college,
an A-.
You know, another thing is like I went to college and I was missing. I had
Should've been A+.
well over the 4 years that I went, had well over the credits that I needed, and they're like, "Well, you're missing this one general," and I think it was like
Underwater basket weaving.
sociology
Ewok
or
studies, I
something,
think
and they're
it
like, "You got to come back for this." I'm like, "Listen, I have enough credits. You're gonna give me my fucking, my diploma or whatever whatever they call it now. Forget
Degree.
My degree." Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
I think diploma
whatever.
is-
No, it's a degree, and I'm
High
like,
school
I'm not
degree,
coming
yeah.
back and spending all this money just for one stupid class. And I fought it for like 3 weeks, and then they were like, "Yeah, you're fine." I'm like, I'm not coming back for sociology.
Yeah.
For one stupid thing,
McNally Smith didn't mail me my diploma until like a year and a half later because I found out I didn't pay the $50 diploma fee or whatever it was.
Jesus.
But yeah,
Yeah, degree is the accomplishment, and diploma is the
the
Yeah.
paper.
award.
It's the paper.
I don't even care
award,
about college
right.
anymore.
Yeah.
I took the same math class 3 times because I through like early high school I took algebra, and then my senior year I went back and took college algebra because it was kind of like the prep algebra for basic math going into whatever regular college is. It was the same class that I took before in high school, and then I got to the end of McNally Smith, and I needed 4 credits. The only one that was really easy was college algebra at McNally Smith. So my senior
You really had to take it? You had to take that there?
I didn't have to because I tested out of it like you do a general purpose. You know,
I got you.
when you get there, and if they decide that you're smart enough at all these things, you don't need to take these classes.
Fooled
But
him.
I was like, I need 4 credits. I'm not going to take.
Just a way to get money.
I'm not going to take music and world cultures semester 2. I'm going to take college algebra again for the 3rd time, and I was literally sitting in this class like doing the homework for the next day. Before the class is over.
So you don't have to spend time outside of class doing it.
Yeah, it was so easy, and that's where your money goes.
He's smarter than me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a
All
math
right.
guy.
Well, speaking of math, we're gonna do this is a horrible segue
Math.
because math
With an A.
Or if you're English, maths.
How do I say it?
Math.
Math.
I love
Not math. Well, I think I want to segue into something here, and I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Likes and Dislikes. Did you like it or not? It's gonna every week is gonna get more and more like outrageously horrible. Or not.
You should add, every week until it takes up half the show.
No, I think it took up half the show last week.
There you go.
Yeah, I did.
But I want to ask you guys. A couple things. I went home with some homework. I had to watch the Cloverfield Paradox and Blade Runner 2049. Have either of you seen those?
I haven't,
Nope.
but I saw the
Oh,
original
fuck.
Cloverfield.
Okay,
Did you see the original Cloverfield?
I did.
I heard reviews of the new one. So does that count?
It totally counts. But something Lance and I were doing, and so we saw these movies, and we're doing like what we liked about them, what we didn't like about them. Since you haven't seen
That's
them,
where
this will be short.
Comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured. Yeah.
It's very
So
important.
what?
or
Maybe
not.
I could just think we should just do a movie we've all seen
Oh boy.
instead of
I'm gonna
Paradox and 2049.
I'm gonna be fucking dead weight on this one.
Why? You don't watch movies?
You know what the last movie I saw in the theaters was?
What?
What was the first of what was Star Wars Episode 7? I can't even remember the fucking name.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Okay.
That was it.
Did you see Blade Runner 2049?
I have not.
No, he
I did
just
not
said
see that
Did
either.
you haven't seen it either?
No.
Oh, you should guys.
These are probably the 2 worst people for movies
Yeah.
that you can possibly.
Damn
I
it.
get I get like yelled at on a daily basis from the rest of the band for the movies that I haven't seen.
Well,
like
we
Pulp
heard-
Fiction, like
You haven't
yeah.
seen Pulp Fiction?
I haven't seen Pulp
Oh,
Fiction.
Jesus. Even I've seen that. I haven't seen anything. I've seen
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Wow, we are going down a bad road here.
we can fucking skip it. I'm
Right.
fine.
No.
I mean, we could always talk.
Let's find a movie.
All right.
Well-
But it's got to be what's the
So,
worst awesome?
You haven't seen
Have
the
you
new
seen-
Star Wars either.
Haven't
you
didn't see
seen-
that. Didn't see Rogue One.
That's unfortunate.
I need.
Rogue
well,
One
I
was good.
and
Rogue
not,
One's awesome.
not for lack of wanting to see them.
I mean, how are you spending your time? It seems like you're not being very productive
Well,
with your
He's
time.
spending time
If you're not
coming
watching
over
movies.
here
I was gonna say,
writing
well,
my guitar parts. for
right.
me.
That was
There's
sarcastic.
that. There's that, and then Grand Tour.
Grand
Yes.
Tour is good.
That's
God, Grand Tour.
Grand Tour.
The Grand
what?
Tour.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Top Gear hosts.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought
Oh,
you
you're
were
talking video
No,
gaming.
you're no,
sorry.
not Gran
I was thinking
Turismo.
Gran Turismo, yeah.
No,
Gran Tour is
oh.
the English dude.
And I was thinking, you mean Gran Torino, the movie?
No.
Oh, it was
No.
interesting. That was a thing. Bang. Bang.
No, Grand Tour is fantastic.
It's a video game.
No.
That's Gran Turismo.
No, that's
Okay.
it's a
which is
show.
also
Turismo.
fantastic.
The Grand Tour is on
Explain-
Amazon
learn me.
Prime.
Okay.
So it's. Have you ever seen Top
Prime.
Gear?
Yeah, I love
See,
Top Gear.
It's the
Yeah.
same guys.
It's Jeremy Clarkson,
Oh, I
Richard
didn't know that.
Hammond.
I did not know
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Did it
you
just get
didn't-
more outrageous or
yeah.
what?
Well, no,
I've never seen it.
Jeremy
I mean, they have
Clarkson got-
Amazon budget now, so
Yeah, and it's legit. They're all over the world now.
That's
It's
cool.
fantastic. But no, Jeremy Clarkson punched a producer.
Yeah.
and
The bigger guy, the older curly hair
the curly
dude.
hair, the one that looks like he's got a head full
The
of
main dude.
pubes,
He's
yeah.
the main dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He punched.
Love that
Jeez,
guy.
what is he, Irish or something?
Oh, he's British.
He's-
Oh,
he's
Yeah.
I'm just
English.
kidding.
I love that dude. Go ahead.
I'm seeing
So,
a
no, so
inflammatory
he-
thing.
He punched a producer, and the
Because
BBC.
he was a dick or what?
Yeah, because he's everyone knows he's a dick.
Yeah.
Like he even admits fairly freely that he's an asshole.
Okay.
But he punches a producer. The BBC doesn't renew his contract. Well, the other two guys, their contracts were up for renewal. They said we don't want to do the show without Clarkson, so they bail. And then they get into a bidding war, and Amazon coughs up ungodly sums of money. Like, I haven't heard the actual number, but it's got to be something insane. But like, you're talking about when Top Gear was on the BBC, they were doing like $350 million
I love that show.
a week.
It was the
When-
biggest show in the world.
It was the biggest show
Are
in
you
the world.
serious?
Yeah.
They do globally. They do like a Super Bowl every week in terms of numbers.
That's pretty cool.
I had no idea.
Yeah, dude, it was intense.
Right.
I've seen a
And
few
s-
Top Gear episodes.
So obviously, how could you get rid of that? And just because they didn't re-sign it, so they did.
So then they made their own production company, the three hosts and the executive producer, and they took it to Amazon, and basically they just said, how far can we push this show into being the exact same show without getting sued by the BBC?
And it's called Grand Tour.
It's
now?
called the Grand Tour.
And they travel across the world.
all over the world.
Mhm.
And it's and they drive, the car, it's of course they drive all the cars that everyone just like drools over, 'cause
Yeah.
it's like I'm never going to be able to afford to
Right.
be in the room with one of those.
I remember the episode where they took the Bugatti on the fucking German speedway or the
Yeah,
Autobahn.
Yes, yes.
Remember that?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
If you haven't seen the Reliant Robin episode of Top Gear,
Oh,
that might be
God.
the best one.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
The Reliant Robin is a 3-wheel car, but the front is the 1-wheel
That's
instead of
stupid.
the back.
That's
And
where
it's-
you can get cars going.
Exactly. And so
if it's the other way
sure you can
around,
die
it
in
wouldn't
that
do
car.
that.
Right.
Right.
So
So that's something you need to watch.
you need to watch,
Yeah.
and you need just it.
I'm not gonna spoil that.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
It's
They almost
you
die.
meet some famous people along the way from Sheffield. which-
Okay.
Specifically Sheffield, because that's where Jeremy Clarkson's
Okay.
from.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So- Did Evan's light just go out?
Yeah, we got battery down.
All right. That's fine.
We're still good here. Oh well, that might be before the light went
Yeah, I
out.
was
Yeah.
gonna say this is.
We'll know soon.
Well, I
Yeah.
see it over there, and I still look
Yeah,
alright.
you're
Is your
fine.
face still pretty?
Well,
Still pretty
that's
enough.
debatable.
I mean, I look.
I can actually fix that right now.
Oh,
Fix me.
What are you doing?
that seems too professional.
So why? Oh, are you gonna?
I think
Oh, I
he's
see
got
what
an
you're
extra
doing. He's got a
battery,
battery.
yeah,
Yep, yep. So Top Gear. How many seasons of Top Gear is there?
Top
Are
Gear?
there?
22.
Huh?
22, I think, before they
Yes.
left.
Well, 22
For
of the
real?
modern era of Top Gear.
Well, yeah, it might be 21 with the original hosts.
Yeah, because they did. Well, because they did that first season back with a guy that wasn't Richard Hammond.
Oh, that's yeah. Well, no, it was instead James May.
Oh no, yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Some weird.
So World Tour,
Grand Tour.
Grand Tour, it's
Grand
on
Tour.
Amazon now.
Amazon
I've seen.
Prime.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen advertisements for it. So that's
Okay.
It's worth your time.
Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, I love the show, so
they changed quite a bit for the second season.
Yep.
I would say it's better than the first season because they kind of nailed down everything a little better.
Yes.
you're
wish we
saying
could
they're
do
trying
that.
some different things in
They
it.
Yeah.
actually have celebrities now.
Well, I mean,
As opposed to all the fake celebrity deaths.
yeah.
Well, they had Tom Cruise on there one time on the original
On the
one.
original.
Have you
yep.
Yeah.
two seen The Last Samurai?
No.
Yes. That was a good movie. That was a great movie.
Thank you.
Bastard.
Is that Tom Cruise?
Thank you.
Was it great though? Was it great?
Yes, it was great.
It was a great movie.
Why was it great?
Because of the Japanese dude.
Okay, all the Japanese dudes were awesome.
No,
I agree.
the main guy. I cannot remember the guy's name for the life of me.
Oh,
Tom Cruise.
no, I know
no,
what
the,
you're talking about.
the guy who wasn't Tom Cruise.
The main
Matt
master.
Yeah,
dude.
Damon.
the main samurai guy. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was.
Yes,
That
he
dude
is-
turned in a hell of a performance.
Yes, he did. I didn't think that the Cruise's performance was that good. I think he's done better.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen Days of Thunder?
Yes, I have, and
Have you
that
seen
is one of my
Let me out of the car, Cole. Let me out of the car.
that was
Let me
one
out
of
of
my
the car,
favorite
Cole.
movies ever.
Days of
growing
Thunder?
up.
Days of
Oh.
Thunder.
It's the only
What?
racing movie to see.
No, not seen it.
Oh yeah,
It's probably
I've
more
seen
compelling.
Tropic Thunder. He was good in Tropic Thunder.
You guys, I was thinking about
Ken Watanabe.
Watanabe. I'll bet you.
Watanabe.
Yeah, that
that's
dude's
definitely
awesome.
his name.
That
Yeah.
dude's awesome.
Yeah.
And so was
Well, yeah, of course. The fights are awesome. The training is so cool to watch. All of that is really cool. I just think that Tom Cruise mailed it in, and I don't like the whole thing where it's like, oh, the white guy comes to Japan
Hiro,
and saves
this
all
guy
the
too,
samurais.
Hiroku Sana,
Just
whatever
bugs
his
the shit
name
out of
is.
me.
He was in Sunshine, the movie Sunshine that I really love too.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the guy that beats up on him and trains him and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like his deep V going. He's
Yeah.
got a deep V going.
That's a button-up shirt, so
Still, it's
yeah.
becomes a deep V at some point.
Deep V's are
It's
the
however
only
much
way
of
to
a
go.
V you want.
Yeah, it's
I've-
a me V.
I've only recently embraced the V-neck.
It's so much more comfortable.
It is so much more comfortable. A
It is.
and B, we're back in an era where manly men are cool,
yeah.
and I'm not shaving my fucking chest.
We're men.
Yeah.
I can't wear
We're
the
men
deep
in
V.
tights. Tights.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
wow.
Wow, that was
The synchronicity on that
same
was
notes
pretty.
on
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Damn.
Are you talking like Matt Halpern deep V next?
Not that deep. No,
Yeah.
no. When you can start seeing like a belly button,
He's got his
that's
own
too
line of
deep.
clothing, I think.
and
now.
it's called like deep V. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I can't rock the deep V. For some reason, when I
Lance,
wear
this
a
is your
deep
dream
V
come
neck,
true.
like
Your
for some
nipple shows?
reason, no, like the shirt ends up like shuffling over time to the back,
Yep.
to where I have like the
Yes.
V is here, but then the back is like still
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
got like a
hanging
scoop
down.
neck going on.
Yeah.
So you did
feel
the
your
back- you're
three
saying
back
you did try
hairs,
it.
like-
You did try
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I have a couple like deep V necks, and it's
Right.
just like this is weird.
I have one that
How deep?
I have one that goes almost down to here.
So deep.
Yeah, I'm not quite that brave,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, you get the deep V. It goes back. Mine does that too, and then you get your like three hairs blowing in the wind back
Yup.
there on the
Yeah,
hump of
Yeah,
your back. I don't
yep.
like that.
I would agree with you there. I have yet to really experiment more fully with the V-neck shirt,
Right.
but
I don't like them too sharp. I need a little bit of roundness to them. You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
wear them as underwear so that my balls and dick can hang out.
I am
Balls
so
and-
confused.
I thought you had a deep V.
I'm trying to visualize that for a
Right.
second here.
I know.
I got a deep V.
That's a pretty deep V.
Well,
Just hook it behind your beanbag.
I tried to
and-
shove them. I tried to shove them through a crew
a
crew
cut.
neck, a crew neck once, and it was very uncomfortable.
A wood
It
chipper.
was like wearing a cock and bar.
Oh Lord, wood chipper.
Just the mental images that are conjured up in my
Mhm.
brain right now. None of them are
keep
None of them are
I
going.
don't want to go down the wood.
Yeah.
Close
chipper
your
route.
eyes.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous place.
Yes.
So what movie have we all seen then? that we
Top
can actually
Gun.
talk about Top
Top
Gun.
Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Are they redoing another one?
I've heard
Please,
a hot,
God, no.
no. I've heard a hot rumor they're
Yeah, me too.
gonna.
I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm ready for Super Troopers too. Though.
Yeah, April
Yes.
420.
See, I'm down
Oh,
with
is
that.
it?
Yep.
How can you get Top Gun to be better or to even compete with the original?
Oh well, you can't.
You can't.
Just though alone, I mean, it won awards. It won everybody.
Did it win awards?
Well, it was like the Star Wars of flying airplanes. I mean, they had the special effects and
I don't
like
even
the
know how
Star
that
Wars
works.
Any
of
special
flying.
effects? Those
Oh
were
my
actual.
God.
You know, a guy
You-
died
okay, so
making
there,
that movie.
you're making my point. You're
For real?
making my point.
Yeah, you know,
It's
like
awesome.
so the flat spin, like the whole, like the scene where Goose dies and everything.
Yeah.
That whole flat spin,
Yeah.
whatever. They sent a guy up, and to get some of those shots, they sent a guy up in a small plane. He's a stunt pilot. And the idea was he was going to actually put it into a spin, and they had like a camera mounted on top of the plane or
Yeah.
whatever. And he actually crashed and died, and they never found the plane. I think.
Was it in the
What?
ocean?
No, it was in the mountains in California. I
Oh,
think.
really?
Yeah, but a guy died, straight up died.
Oh.
Went the way of the cats from whatever the Homeward Bound movie.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
movie.
we
I've
didn't
never
get
seen.
the shot.
That's so sad.
Did that really happen?
I mean, I don't know if it's a rumor or
Kind of
not.
hope
but
so.
I'm pretty sure
they
that
just
happened.
they just
I'm
randomly
just
killed cats until they got one that worked.
I mean, wasn't there a scene of like a cat going off the cliff
I think
where
so.
it was like it's not like an upward shot of just like a cat flying. It's like a cliff with the cat.
I feel
flying
like
into
there are
the cliff.
ethical rules against that.
Toonsis the flying cat.
Jesus.
I thought it was driving cat.
It is. I
Yeah.
just amalgamate.
Toonses.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
go way
Top
back.
Gun.
What was
If
I
they
gonna
did a
look
Tom,
up?
what would Tom Cruise? What would he? Would he be a teacher?
He'd
Tom
have to
Cruise
be a
do?
teacher, but the problem is they need to have Val Kilmer in the movie.
Well,
And
did you
he's
hear?
not
Okay.
really-
Oh, interesting story. You know, he had like cancer, right?
I had heard about that.
Okay,
yeah.
so he was in the new movie The Snowman, which is about a serial killer,
Yep.
and they dubbed over his voice,
Oh.
and it's
Really?
horrible.
Oh.
And you know it right away because he was talking like this in real life, and
Yeah.
they fucking dubbed it over, and I'm like, that's not his voice. That's
No.
weird.
Have you ever seen The Room?
It's the greatest movie ever made, man.
What is that
You
about?
would know.
have you
if you've
ever seen The
Room.
Disaster Artist?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
The Room. Yeah,
The
yeah,
Room.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
They
can't
double-
believe you drew a blank.
Yeah, yeah, I
there.
did.
I was just watching.
Just
you,
fucking
like-
saw it.
Yeah. So have you
We're-
seen The Room or The Disaster?
I've seen them
Artist?
both.
You've seen them
Are
both.
you talking
okay.
about the part where he walks in and gets the flowers? That's
Yeah.
all dubbed over.
all?
And
I'm
the worst.
pretty sure
dubbing
most of his
ever.
dialogue is dubbed
Yeah.
over. Actually,
Yeah.
it seems
every-
like it. But have you? Wait, you've seen that now?
The Room?
Yeah, we watched that at Zach's.
Well, no, I'd seen it before.
Oh yeah, you'd seen it. So have you seen The
You're
Room?
my favorite customer.
No,
Ah,
Hi,
I like to
Doggy.
watch horrible
Hi,
movies.
Doggy.
Thought we found one.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
bye.
The
I'm sorry.
Disaster Artist was
I've-
awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
an
hi, Mark.
assignment of mine.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Along with Legend, I
Oh,
have to
my
watch
favorite part.
Legend.
I say this all the time. Oh, it's your happy birthday.
Happy
Oh, happy birthday.
Horrible.
She's my future
I don't-
wife.
How could I sit through that whole movie though if it really is that bad?
Dude.
Oh,
It's
you'll love
it's
it.
the best, worst movie I've ever seen.
Go
yeah, people
see it.
say that, but every worst movie
Okay.
I watch is like I turn it off.
If you're in that spot, go to the showing in Uptown Theater. They do it the
I
second
heard
to
about
last
that.
Friday.
I did read about
You
that.
will love it there. Like
Because of all
just
the shit
all
that they do
Yeah,
with
all
the
the shit they do.
spoons, right?
It's a completely different event.
What's the deal? Don't they throw spoons?
I think so.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because every
so-
picture is spoons.
Yeah, every
any picture in any shot is a spoon.
yeah,
Seriously.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
didn't
just
realize
a
that.
framed
Yeah.
photo,
Yeah.
just all spoons. So you're supposed to throw a spoon every time you see
Maybe
it.
he worked for the like for the silverware company or something, and that's where he got all his money.
That could be.
He's an enigma. We were talking about this. Like, he's got to be like Eastern Bloc,
He's
German,
Polish.
Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, he's
Why?
from New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nolans, the deep Nolans accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and his money, he's rich as shit. So they had to have been like some like
He's a
trust
famous
fund or
jazz
World
artist.
War II something or whatever. You know?
Oh yeah, he had like a pile of Nazi gold or something.
Yeah, that's
Seriously,
what I'm saying.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that would make some sense.
So he had
or
to
his
have it.
parents fought for like the Confederacy or whatever they were, running the docks for the Confederates.
But yeah, there's all sorts of like crazy stuff they do at that showing. Like there's.
Did you go to it?
I've been to it one time. My buddy Max was way into the room to the point where like he was making up stuff that he would do to start getting other people to do at the theater at the showings.
Oh, so
And one of them-
he's invested
Yeah,
in it.
one of them
Delusions
was
of
really
grandeur.
he just hopped up and ran out of his seat and ran up to the screen during this one part, and him and his buddy were up there like at the corner of the screen like jumping, hey Johnny, look, hey Johnny, and it's like they're doing this for 20 seconds and we're like, what are they doing? This is kind of weird.
And you were there?
Yeah, and I was there, and then all of a sudden it's this scene where
I wanna
Johnny
leave.
like looks down and left during the scene. It's a close pan of his face, and he goes, and he does that, and everyone just starts laughing and clapping in the theater. And they just run back to their seats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's this scene where like it's, what's the woman in the movie? I don't remember.
Lisa?
Lisa. Yeah.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
There
Oh
you
my
go.
god, we're gonna have to fucking dub that one down.
It's like a close up of her, and it's like her vein is like popping out every time she says something, and everyone in the crowd's just like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
I may need to go do this.
Yeah, it's
I'd
really,
do it
it's
with
really
you.
worth it.
That's-
And it's like $10 or something.
Was it Friday nights?
It's the third Friday of the month, or the second to last Friday of every month.
God, so you know
Okay.
what's funny is like he's made fun of,
Yeah.
and they made it. They made it.
Yep.
They made it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not the way he wanted.
No,
but
not
he made
exactly,
it.
but he made it. You
They're
know,
famous for their movie.
gotta love
Good
those
enough.
Franco
Yeah.
brothers for helping him out with that.
Man, he did such a good job, like impersonating him.
No, it was famous
Oh, yeah.
before Franco.
No, it
did
was,
the
but
whole-
Yeah.
they brought it to another level though.
Right.
Oh,
and
for sure.
The movie came out in like 2002
One.
or 1. Yeah, like that's how long it took.
Yeah.
Well, that explains it. Like some of the worst times.
The
in
ultimate slow
movies.
play.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it started picking up like in the mid to late 2000s again, and people were like, "Okay, this is a disaster. This is a train wreck that we got to watch and over again."
Yeah.
It is the quintessential. Like I was watching it again, and you remember the end scene where who's the character that starts off with the glasses, the lawyer guy,
Peter.
where he just all of a sudden becomes a different person
Yeah. So
with no.
when you watch the movie, Peter is the psychiatrist with the glasses, kind
Yep,
of balding.
Yep.
And then in the
tall,
second,
skinny guy.
Yeah, in the second half of the movie, there's this good-looking guy with like
He is handsome.
thick hair, like not even wearing glasses. They didn't even. It's supposed to be the same guy.
I didn't even
In the-
realize
in the
it.
credits,
I've seen it one time.
He's other Peter or Peter number 2.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be just that guy again.
Peter.
And they didn't even try to like make him
That's
look
hilarious.
similar.
Hey,
You know who
Lois,
in my
diarrhea.
opinion, you know who the best actor and that really good actor that was in that movie?
The
Tom-
mom.
The mom.
No,
Matt
the
Damon.
fucking drug dealer dude,
Yeah.
where he's like, "Give me my money." And
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he was the best actor in that fucking movie.
I don't know, man. I feel like
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he
actually,
was.
yeah.
have you seen the Honest trailer of The Room? The
Oh,
whole
yeah.
Honest trailer.
Screen
of The Room?
Junkies?
Yeah.
Those
That-
are pretty
I think
fun.
so. Yeah.
That is because the mom, and he's right. The mom's dialogue, every bit of it, sounds like an actual person just walking into the middle of whatever the hell
And
this
just
was,
talking.
and just going like, "Who are these people?"
Who are
Man, it would have
these
been awesome to be on that set.
I can't
Yeah.
even imagine.
Yeah, well, that's what the disaster artist is
Right.
for.
I would have been excruciating to be on that set. Like, I can't believe these assholes are making a movie.
I didn't realize he was that pissed before that sex scene.
Oh yeah,
He was like pissed at the whole crew and everybody, like, because they're making fun of him and
Yeah.
stuff. And he's like, "Fuck you guys."
that's
and
the
then
thing.
Well,
They
and
were
then,
making
and then he
fun of him?
proceeds to hump her
Yeah.
belly button
And he's
for
like,
the next
and then
half
Seth,
hour.
Seth is like, "Does he know where her fucking vagina is?"
That's why the disaster artist is so great, because it hits on every single point that every person who's ever watched it is asked.
Right.
Like, why is he humping her belly button? You know?
I can't believe I'm gonna have to watch this fucking movie.
Dude,
You gotta
yeah,
watch
you gotta
both.
watch it.
You gotta watch the
well,
real
I'll
movie.
watch The Room first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it is unintentional.
You still have to watch
brilliant.
Legend
Well,
of Me too.
I know that's my 2 assignments. Well, I'd be like, is that it? If I hate The Room, even for its awfulness, is that it? Like, can we hang or what? Do I have to love this horrible
You don't
movie?
have to love it. I just want to. You just have to watch the movie. I don't care what your opinion is. I mean, I care about your opinion, but I don't care what your opinion is on it.
Okay, I got it.
Is this a list of 2001 movies?
Yeah, I just brought it up, and they're all horrible. I got through the season. I couldn't look anymore,
It's either
So-
2001 or
Bubble Boy?
2002.
except for A Boy Named Sue. That's pretty good.
Hey, you didn't like Bubble Boy?
I mean, yeah, that was a good movie. But
Gyllenhaal in that?
Was
these
he
weren't like.
Yeah.
No, it
I
was the
don't
other
know.
guy, wasn't it? It
It was
was
Jake Gyllenhaal.
the one that
Are you
isn't
sure?
Jake Gyllenhaal?
You look it up.
No, he's a really funny guy. He's quirky. He's got black hair. It's usually longer.
Oh wait, no, I'm
And
getting that
Jason
Bubble.
Sudeikis.
No.
Oh, long hair?
no, not Sudeikis.
I think
it is Jason.
Why am I
Uh,
blanking
no.
on? There was
Never had long hair.
He's in a movie with Natalie Portman. A really weird movie. Well, here we go. My fucking memory.
I got it pulled up right now.
My Flummery.
You're
Not so
flummering
good.
right now.
3,000 Miles.
So
to
flummergasted.
Graceland.
Yeah, that's
Donnie Darko. I love that movie.
That was a good
well,
movie.
dude.
I wasn't that
so
big of a
good.
fan of that.
Well,
People hyped it up too much.
It's a
for
mood
me.
movie.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
mood
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
I can
that's
see
fair.
why
Jake
you would-
Gyllenhaal was in Bubble Boy.
It was Jake Gyllenhaal. All right. Well, I'll have to think of who
I'm thinking of a different.
Figure out
What
who
was
I'm
the
thinking
movie with Harlan? What's his name? Where he was like a spaceman, and there was like a farts in a spacesuit joke in it.
That's awesome.
My brother was a huge
Gravity.
fan of that movie. No,
The Mars Attacks one.
no, that was brilliant.
That's
though.
a great
that was
movie.
So
Was
good.
It's such a good movie.
It
Yeah.
was a great movie.
It
It had
was.
awesome actors in it.
Ooh,
It
Wet
was
Hot in American Summer was out in that year. That's
Did
the
you
best
guys
movie that came
see-
out that year. And Zoolander.
What's the
Yeah,
one with
classic.
Matthew McConaughey?
Contact.
No,
Jodie Foster.
the recent one.
Oh, Dazed and Confused.
Not Matthew
Dallas
McConaughey.
Buyers Club.
I don't know.
Matt Damon.
Wow.
Is it Matt Damon?
No, it's not Matt Damon.
Fucking
It's the
hate-
other one that came out the same year. I don't know why.
As Matt Damon.
Yeah, it's same year
Matt
as The
Damon
Martian,
came out.
or the year
I'm glad for
year
him.
before.
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It is.
That's-
That's McConaughey.
Do you, so you
I
like?
loved that movie.
2014.
I really.
Yeah, I love that movie too. So
Or
you're a
16.
sci-fi guy, right?
Yeah, for the
Have you
most
seen
part.
Sunshine?
No.
Do yourself a favor and watch Sunshine.
Absolutely. Watch the movie first, and then you've seen Firefly. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Sunshine
absolutely.
is by far one of my. If you love Interstellar,
You'll love every second of it.
Sunshine is by far a sleeper that not a lot of people know about, and it's fucking amazing.
Why do I keep? I just said Firefly. That's not the Firefly one. What's
No.
That's Serenity.
Serenity?
Serenity is the
that's
movie. Firefly is the show.
now!
Yeah, which was
God,
which
my
you know
memory is
I was
stupid.
so happy though in Serenity that they finally explained what the fuck the Reavers were because I was so confused and how that all I mean like the way they got that weaved in was really
Yep.
Well, they knew
that
they
was
were
very
like,
satisfying.
this is it. we
Yeah,
gotta
we better
explain
explain it all.
Yeah, because that was its last hurrah.
Yeah.
It was,
Mhm.
and it's
Unfortunately.
too bad because that is some of the best writing.
That
I
show
think.
could have gone on for 20 years with the way that it was set up.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure, for
so
sure.
good. It was so good, and those
And
the characters
cast.
were the perfect
Yeah.
amount of good
To
acting.
cast the dynamic between
campiness.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
other
and
cast
dynamic.
members was like what sold you. on
Yes,
this.
yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
And-
Very good.
And
Very
Nathan
good.
Fillion was as the kind
Yup.
of head guy was just he was perfect.
And the only Baldwin that's not related to the rest of the Baldwin, Adam Baldwin.
Yep. Who it turns out to be kind of a dick in real life.
Oh, so he is a
Like,
I mean,
Baldwin.
most Baldwins are.
Yeah.
Not all.
Fair
It
enough.
just comes with the name.
What
Yeah.
am I doing on this delay thing?
I don't know.
Just
I don't
well, and
remember
now you're
doing
going to be
that.
doing it again here
I
in a
know.
couple of minutes.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
It was like the scene from
Doing jumping jacks.
Team America, World Police. How he sounded like
You remember the sign?
I might as well do it too.
he's hanging out of the back of the fucking thing, like, help
I think
me.
he's taunting us.
They forgot the sign, obviously. Yeah, sorry. It is tough with this, but I got to keep an eye, even though people aren't writing right now, on the live chat, which will soon be a super chat.
Super chat. For money.
We got to do that.
Oh.
There's a
Sometimes
throwback.
when I get nervous.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great. My mom and I would watch that, and we
So
would
good.
laugh.
So
My
good.
mom loved it. My mom was doing that, and I'm like, the fuck are
Well,
you
she's
doing?
just a great, like, the way that
Yeah.
she
We're talking
is-
about Molly Shannon here.
Yeah,
right?
Molly Shannon. Thank you. Since I'm horrible with names, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Happy to help.
That's why you're
Since-
here.
I mean, I don't understand why her career didn't last longer. I mean, she's that funny. She is Will Ferrell funny. Like, that's why they were so tight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Like-
that's why he appeared on the movie too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he's
Wasn't
been
he
in
God?
every movie since, like, 1999.
He was like God
I don't
in the
think I
movie.
ever saw that one. That era of Saturday Night Live was kind of like because everyone always compares Saturday Night Live to the original
Right.
era, obviously, but like, man, there's
Yeah.
a lot of guys out of that.
70s, right?
Yeah, but like, there's
Yeah,
a
the
lot of guys
70s.
out of that era that ended with like when Will Ferrell left and stuff like that. You know, like Will Ferrell, Tim Meadows.
Well, you had like Chris Farley. You had
There's-
Jim Carrey.
Did you guys see that new thing on Netflix? It's about the original creator of
I want to watch that.
the guy that started all those guys in
National Lampoon. At
Yeah,
Harvard.
National-
Oh yeah,
It's called with
I can't
with
wait to see it.
yeah with
Grievous Intent something. You know, it's a
yeah,
weird
yes,
thing like
yes,
that.
Yes,
Definitely watch it because that's that guy that started the magazine, National Lampoon magazine.
yep.
And
And
then
I didn't
he's
know
the
it
one
was
that
that
like
guy.
got those guys into like SN, like all these
Yep.
people came.
It was
and they ended up-
Smeagol, Robert Smeagol.
No, he ended up passing away. What's his name? He
Hang
died.
on.
It was like 37, 38, something like that.
We're googling.
Do it.
A
futile
futile
and
and stupid
stupid
Watch
gesture.
that
I
movie.
did
It's
say
great.
futile.
Is
Did you
that?
see,
Oh, and is that Will Forte too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays him.
Oh, I love
Dude,
Will Forte.
okay. So speaking of Will Forte and speaking of things that maybe no one has ever seen, also things I think that came out in 2001.
Never seen.
That is a great movie. That is
Did-
a great movie.
Am I the only one at this table who watched Clone High? Was that a thing?
I never saw that.
Never seen it.
What is it?
Oh, so it was a show that I think it got done out of Canada, but it was on like MTV for like a year. They did one season of it, but the whole premise of the show was that some shadowy government agency found DNA from all these famous people and cloned them, and now they're all in high school together. So it's like Abe Lincoln, Cleopatra, John F. Kennedy, Gandhi, who is an ADD party animal, and is fucking hilarious.
What's this called again?
Clone High.
Okay.
Like it's one of those shows that it just did not last that long,
Right.
and it's too bad because it's another one where like the writing was great.
Clone High.
It was super fun. And,
what
and,
a
and
premise.
and tons and Will Forte was in it.
Martin Mull.
Martin Mull.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh.
And it's
Keep
an
going with
animated show, right?
Yeah, it's animated.
Oh,
and
okay.
but like Marilyn Manson cameos in it.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of there was a bunch of the cast from Mad TV was on it too.
Bobby Lee is one of my
Awesome.
favorite.
And yeah, it was just it was great.
Man.
It was great. show.
It's like who joined the podcast?
hot dog.
That weirded me out.
No. No.
Did you see Jim and Andy?
Mine's in my danger zone.
I've not seen Jim and Andy
Jim
yet.
and Andy.
No.
What's that?
That is Jim Carrey's portrayal of...
Oh yeah. Jason told me to watch
yeah.
that one.
Oh, it's so Andy
really good.
Andy
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
In
and it's basically
what's the name
all
of the movie that they're talking about?
A Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon.
Yep.
And it's all like behind the scenes footage of Jim Carrey constantly being in character
Of
as
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
Is
and
it
it's
scary?
It's like
Intense.
unreal. It's
Intense.
really intense. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's super good. I recommend it. Like he was got to the point where he was like yelling at everyone and
Yeah,
just, like,
throwing shit,
throwing
breaking shit.
Yeah, there's like this pro wrestler who's like, my relationship with Andy was actually pretty good, and Jim Carrey is here just telling him off
Crazy.
and like spitting on him.
Yeah.
and-
Wow.
So it's like it's not even like completely accurate portrayal of Andy, behind the scenes. It's just what
Just a
Jim
crazy
Carrey
So what's what he
Carrey.
was doing to portray
to
that.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be able to do the live stuff, which is what that movie is pretty much about, right?
Right.
All of Andy's live stuff.
Yeah.
And
his-
filming.
Yeah.
Taxi. Does it go into like Taxi and
Yeah, a
stuff
little
like that?
bit. Yeah.
I used to watch. My dad used to watch
What's
that.
the
when I was
noise he
really
made on
little.
Taxi? He sounded. It was like almost like Mork.
Yeah, he would talk like this.
And sometimes he
On
would make
Taxi.
a funny little noise.
What was his name on Taxi?
Vodka.
Vodka, yeah.
yeah.
That's good. Oh, I loved that show. I think
Yeah,
it was
Danny
inappropriate
DeVito.
for
I
the
can't
age I
believe
watched
Danny
it.
DeVito still.
The fucking professor from Back to the Future was on there. Christopher
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
He was on
He's
there.
awesome in that show.
And wasn't Judd Hirsch on that show too?
Oh,
I don't know. Was that the main guy?
yes, it was Judd
Yeah,
Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch.
He was the main guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was the main
Character in that.
Wasn't a young Tony
protagonist.
Danza on that show?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Who's the
when you
boss?
Rattle off. Well, just you rattle off a few names. You're like, holy
There's a
shit,
lot of
they
people
all
on
work
that show.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people in that
What
show.
happened to Tony Danza?
Tony
He
Danza,
he was
hold
doing
me
a talk show for a
closer.
little while.
Yep.
He became a song.
Did you ever?
and it was
Sorry.
Did
over.
you guys ever hear of the band, the Tony Danza Tap Dance
Yeah,
Extravaganza?
Tony Danza tapped in.
I thought you
Josh
said-
Travis is the
Did you
guitar
say
player.
tap dance
Amazing. It's
or tap
Tap
dance?
dance.
Tap Dance Extravaganza. They had
Yeah, he was a dancer.
Did they?
Tony was on his talk show or
The
whatever
boxer.
he was doing, and he's like, hey Tony, have you ever listened to Tony Danza Tap? And they played it, and he's like, holy shit, what is that?
Were they?
It's just crazy. I mean, it's
I-
crazy metal.
I was gonna say, aren't they like I Wrestled a Bear once?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that sort of brand of.
But he
like,
plays like 8 and 9 strings, and it's just like,
Right.
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's a really good
Where did
guitar
that name
player.
Yeah.
come from?
He's a really good guitar player.
He must have just really loved Tony Danza.
Or hated it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yeah, that could
Tony
be.
Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. I think I have 2 or 3 of their albums
It's a
actually.
mouthful.
That was like
Yeah,
You
of
do?
that era of metal bands who were like
Money well spent.
being funny
yeah,
and like just trying to come up with names that were almost like impossible.
yeah.
to
Like
say.
I Wrestled the Bear.
I
once.
Wrestled the Bear
I
once.
love them too.
What was that first song? That one song that everyone heard of theirs first. The one with the music video.
Or
where
that
they were
they're
all, like,
partying
hump-
around the pool and stuff.
And they were all like humping the air toy, the blow up
Yep.
toys and stuff. Yeah.
Schlitz gay.
Can you pull up? Can you pull
Yeah,
that
I'm
up?
sorry. I was just kind of listening.
Just do like YouTube.
When they Google it.
It's all one word.
Did you hear that?
You're gonna Google YouTube.
That was
Yeah,
just to
it's-
piss him off.
He's the
Google
worst.
YouTube and then
You want to
yeah.
Google YouTube on the Bing?
What
for
am I
me?
looking up?
I
Make sure
wrestled
to
the
click
bear
on
I
once.
go
the
through Bing, the most
advertisement.
useless.
I have a T-shirt by Wrestled Bear once, and it's a.
I'm gonna do all one word.
Wrestled a
It is all
Beyonce.
one word. Tastes like Kevin Bacon. That's the song.
Yeah.
Should we listen to
Yeah,
this?
listen
Do we
to
have,
Yes.
do we have official permission? We do. We just called. We just got it.
Wasn't this like a 2-person band?
No,
or
there's
something?
2
Should
guitar
I start
players.
in
No,
the
you gotta
middle?
get. You gotta get the
Oh,
video.
Okay.
Because the video.
They've
is,
changed 2 different girl singers now.
Yes. Hang on.
Every business
Because apparently
There's the
someone's
girl
too
singer.
cheap to do YouTube Red.
Sorry. We're paying for other shit.
Key change.
There's a key.
There it is.
Now hang on. It gets better.
Yes.
I love these guys, man.
She sounds good.
Oh, those short shorts.
I like how it doesn't
I had to wear
match
the,
at
I
You
used
got
to
the
have
blow-up
to wear
guitars.
those short shorts. I ran in cross country.
Ian, or Evan, that's what you need to bring on tour now. The blow-up guitars.
And short shorts.
This is a great video.
play a
I love the guy
Blow up
twerk.
guitar.
That was like pre-twerking.
This is the
Yeah.
video I was
Twerking
thinking,
was
but
a
there's
thing.
another one where they're all partying
Look at-
around a pool.
And then he's on the other side with his balls hanging out of his shorts. That was awesome.
Dude, they don't. Their whole band is like changed people already. Like there's different guitar players. And stuff.
Is it like? Is this like literally a case of like, this is my grandfather's axe?
The song is only 8 minutes long, you guys know.
Yeah. No, we.
Is that
right.
the best part of
All
the
right.
video?
Yeah.
Now look up Tony Danza tap dance extravaganza.
Tony dance, a tap dance,
So you guys are getting your taste of this,
You can
this
work it in there.
genre
You
of,
just gotta
metal,
get syllables
era
right.
of metal.
Yes.
This is like mid to late 2000s kind of like.
Right.
Yep.
So I gotta Google YouTube again, and then
Yeah, just Google YouTube.
If you could just.
If you could
There
YouTube
it is,
Google
right there.
I had a
YouTube?
I had a cousin who.
I like it. It's above the regular Tony Danza.
That's
awesome.
yeah, you just typed in Tony Danza and it's above the. Here we go.
Full album or
No,
what?
we want a video.
Which one do you want?
that music?
There's Tony Danza on the Tony Danza.
That'll definitely get us taken down if
Tony,
we pull up
yeah.
Tony
Tony
Danza.
Danza. Oh,
Self-titled. Well, these are all full album too. Should I just type in video?
Yeah, do a video.
This is what the shit
what am I
balls
looking
just
at?
happened. Oh, here we go. Danza 3, the Alpha, the Omega. Oh, that's another
That's a
full
full
album.
album.
That's
There's Josh
Wait,
Travis.
did they do an Alpha and Omega before
Periphery? I don't know.
Maybe they just stole it.
Uh oh.
I don't know. Here's a video, like a live
Just do
video.
that. No, do that intro to Yippee Ki motherfucker.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's only 4 minutes long.
that's just the intro. Oh, is this then live?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Station 4.
Wow.
Yeah, Station 4, St.
Yeah.
Paul, Minnesota.
Oh, sounds a little off.
No, that's what Station 4 sounds
Yeah,
like.
well, I mean, just through the headphones.
I miss Station 4 though, man.
It was a fun little shithole, man.
We never really meddled out yet on the show. I like it.
A lot of backing tracks too. Look at him play it.
This is a dude who clearly just could not find two fucks to rub together.
Look at that.
That stage was so sticky.
Yeah, they extended it towards the end though too.
I know, I remember that. But it was still just sticky. Seriously, like,
I never really shot. I never really saw many shows there.
oh dude, I saw some great shows
I think
there.
actually
That's
the
good
only
enough. Yeah, you get an idea what they sound like.
Yeah.
the only metal show is Throw the Fight. That was the only like rock show that I saw there.
Was that
And
when
then-
I was playing with them?
I don't think so.
I actually seen what's the actresses that had that actress name that she had a band. She was in Natural Born Killers.
Juliette Lewis?
She was in a band. Yeah, I went and saw her there one time too.
Okay, so
I seen the Toadies there too.
ooh.
Yeah, that was a great
You
show.
did.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then you guys ever heard of the band People in Planes?
I've heard.
Oh my
I
god,
saw-
that's where I found them. They were better than the Toadies, and I fell in love with them. They're not even a band anymore, and it's really sad. Really sad.
I did. I was to Station 4 5 or 6 times, and I had a good time every time. And I never knew who I was seeing. I never knew.
They got into national acts. I mean, they were.
Yeah. Oh, they had a
I
couple.
saw
it was
the
like-
Rice there, man. They were great.
Who the fuck did
It was
I
pretty
see
much
that I
after
would
the
know?
burials, home for a while.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I saw Carnival there.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh,
was-
you did?
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
dude.
that's fucking
Oh.
Dude, that was well. And what happened was like one of the bands that was on tour with them, their singer had to have like emergency dental surgery or something like that. Like he had like an abscess or something that had
Yeah.
to come out. So they played for like 2 hours.
Really?
Nice.
Oh, it was so great.
Cool.
Dude, I'm jealous that you were there.
Dude, that was
God, I'd
such a
love to
good
see
show.
that.
No.
I've played with them once and seen them every time they've been in town.
KARNIVOOL.
Are you a fan of them?
Carnival,
If you
yeah,
wanna look them
yeah,
up. They're
definitely.
awesome.
They're
Yeah.
definitely a special band.
They
Yeah.
are, yeah. They're
It's a
right
it's
up
a
there.
cool like different region Tool sound, but also even like Perfect
Yeah.
Circle, like just kind of. But I mean, I think it's less heavy than those.
You know,
If you think about
It's
it.
got its moments.
Some of them are
It's
heavy.
very ambient.
It
Yes.
can be.
That's
Yeah.
a good word. That's a good word for it.
yeah. Speaking of Australian bands, I saw Dead Letter Circus when they were here with.
Yeah, did you go to? Was it the Caboose show?
No, it was at the theater in Dinkytown. What's that one?
The Varsity?
Varsity Theater.
Ooh.
It was because it was Fair to Midland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Throw the Fight opened the show, and there was another band in Dead Letter Circus, and they were really good.
Dead Letter
And
Circus?
I'd never heard of them before.
Super
to me,
good.
they're kind of like I almost prefer them over Carnival because they're kind of like in that same niche.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just that's cool.
That might be fighting words. I might take you out back and beat your ass about that later. But no, I know
I'm
what
adding
you're
it
saying.
right now. Dead Letter Circus.
Yeah, no, Dead Letter Circus. The Catalyst Fire is a really great record.
I have to like I know what they sound like. I just have to listen to it more and get a little bit more involved in it.
That was like shoveling music for me for like a whole winter. Was Dead
Shoveling
the Catalyst Fire is a great record.
Yeah.
I really think that's a great record.
To me, they're always I love their sound, but it's almost like every single song is like this close to having a really killer chorus, but they just never get there.
Never nail it.
They never nail it.
Quite
It's
nail
like
it.
the verses are like, man, I'm really jamming this, and then you just want to get that chorus and just like nail it home. And it's just kind of like, just kind of getting through it.
That's what I'm learning
Yeah.
tonight is
Missed
like
it.
making your choruses big and wide and sound out.
Yep.
That's what we're working on today too.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Deep
You
V
should have
choruses.
heard. You should have heard my choruses before I met Ian. They were like, just
No,
riff, riff, and then
No,
the
you're-
chorus was riff, and then vocals are-
That's not
vocals are
entirely
happening.
true. That's not entirely true. Your choruses were fine. It was just the fucking 4 minutes before we got to the first chorus
That's
that was
true.
an issue.
I think it was Northern Invasion I
put an
talked to you
extra
about this,
chorus
and I was
there.
like, hey, like I need would you mind helping me? And you're like, yeah, like, well, what about Ian? And I think the first time I ever talked to you was at a Fine Line show.
Yeah, it
Right.
was. It might have even been a Cold Kingdom show.
Yeah, I
it
think
might
so,
even been
yeah.
that first Cold Kingdom
Yes.
show, like the first one you guys ever did at Fine
Saving
Line.
Abel one.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
because we did.
That was it.
That
Was
our,
it?
Well,
Oh,
our
I don't
first,
think I made that one. No,
Oh.
no.
first show ever was Saving Abel at the Fine Line. Well, ever. We did like a.
I went to your
open night
very first soft opening at
Yeah, you did Pickle Park.
Pickle Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't make
That
that.
was a Tuesday
one.
night.
That
Sorry.
one was like we didn't tell anyone. We just showed up to get a feel for on
Right.
stage.
Yeah, and just see how things go. And
Which
can
is
you hand me the Angry Orchard in there, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
But yeah, that was.
Oh,
So
I
I was talking.
didn't realize
I was,
you were wearing your skirt today.
Oh, thanks.
Angry Orchard.
So I was talking to him and this kind of brings up songwriting because I was like, he's like, Evan was like, well, be prepared if you work with Ian, he's gonna, cut your songs up and like, you're telling me like,
right?
well, yeah, I mean, like you want to, obviously, but he's like saying how, yeah, thank you. You want one too?
I mean, now that I've teased you about it, I think I have to
Have
drink
that.
Is
one.
there? I think there's another one.
No, see if there's another one.
If there's another one, I will drink this one. If there's
Yeah.
not, you wanted it.
No,
I'm gonna be a
I
nice
can
guy.
drink this.
Okay.
You're my guest.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So,
Supermoon.
but yeah, like we didn't really chop anything up on this one though.
Well, it also depends. Like for me,
Yet.
yeah. Well, and that's we may end up chopping something at some point.
Yeah, I know.
But it depends on what the goal is. And
Yeah.
like when Evan came to me, like
No more Angry Orchard.
he was
fine.
pretty clearly trying to write songs that you would hear on the radio.
hmm
Like
I
that
just wasn't good at it.
well, you had all the right
It
ideas.
worked out pretty well.
and it was just a matter of like, okay, let's get him to fit in the right package, because that's all it is. All pop songwriting really is like a framework.
Right.
It's not like
Well, listen to see it. It's verse, pre-chorus,
Get a little more
chorus,
microphone on there.
verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then chorus
bridge.
again.
Yeah, or
A little bridge and
little
then chorus
Yeah, and the big thing I think is like you wanna.
Here, let me get this for you.
Who does
thank
anyone
you.
know Skylight Media?
Yeah, that's Oh, seriously, Evan?
Get in here and unretract your shit, right?
Yeah, Evan.
Message retracted.
Yeah, because that's Evan. Skylight
okay.
Skylight Media is Evan.
now. He just didn't want to post as that because it's his professional thing,
It is,
right?
yeah.
So that makes sense. Okay, fine. You're off the hook, Evan.
Only for a minute though.
Until fucking later.
Till next time.
But yeah, and with Eris, you guys are doing something a little different from that.
Yeah, we
so
are.
the standards for what that's gonna be are gonna be different.
Right.
And lower. That's my porn account.
And lower.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Oh. Oh, he accidentally. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure you
Yeah,
did.
I mean,
Skylight
don't
Media.
wanna
Don't
make it
look into the
official.
skylight.
we can play shows with like
This
Cold
is what
Kingdom because it
Skyline
works,
Media
Yeah.
but we're not the same thing as what they are.
Right.
You know?
And so it's a matter of kind of as a guy who comes in to help people realize some sort of vision that through this media that it's a different game.
Yeah.
Every time you come in, it's a different thing.
Right.
So
all of my songs before I met you were at least 5 minutes. to try to think of writing a 5-minute song right now. It's hard.
I'm not
It's
gonna
really
lie
hard.
though.
So you think you have it now? Now this is like written in your head now that you're just like, now this is kind of what I
It's your
put
style?
out.
Well,
It's kinda
and yeah, and it's like when I write a song, it starts here. Like most of it's there before. Like either I know what I want to kind of like make a person feel like, or
Oh, that's cool.
I want a certain direction of like the drum rhythm is going to be kind of make your head bob or something like that, and I want the chorus to do this, and then like I get all those things squared away, but it's so hard when I sit down and I'm like I want to write a longer song that's like almost 5 minutes or more.
Right.
And
Just
it's just
me.
kind of like, how do I get there? Because it's kind of like you have to combine two songs, but it has to be one cohesive song.
Right.
I like a longer song. I mean, especially on an album.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're gonna have hits that, that they're gonna play on the radio over the longer songs sometimes. But hey, maybe all of a sudden you've got a 6-minute song on the radio.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
Well,
My
or
biggest
just
thing
people
is,
to hear your full thought. You know what I mean? Your
Yeah.
the
It comes
full
on to-
spectrum of it.
Well, he said it's the intention of the song too.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's the main thing. It's like, what are you trying to get across when you're doing this? Like, is it
Right.
working? Like I was listening to "The Pot" by the Tool, and there's a part where the song like ends, but it comes back into it again.
Yep.
And that's like, it's a 5-minute song, but it's almost like they end it and then like they go back into the riff and start playing it again, and
Yep.
that's like 3 or 4 minutes into the song, and then they end
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Well, my favorite Alter Bridge song is "Cry of Achilles." I don't know if any of you guys are Alter Bridge fans.
I
but
mean, I
it's
hung
like-
out with him
this
one
is-
time.
Yeah, show off.
Hey,
is
you
like
were
a
there
Name
too.
drop.
Well, I hung out with one.
Yeah, that's enough.
But that's like I think that's like a 6-minute song, and it's like it has everything that I love in a song, but it's still 6 minutes, and they don't waste your time. That's
Right.
the thing is like with me, if I'm gonna do that, I don't want to waste someone's time by. I mean, I love Metallica, but by Metallica-ing it and adding a third verse
Yes.
after the solo, like that's to me, that's like if I'm not good at writing a third verse, then I'm not going to write a third verse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the third verse, man, that you could have a whole conversation about how the third verse is a lost art these days.
Well,
Oh, it is.
We have
It
that in
throws
Aired
people
After,
off.
but she
Yeah.
changes the way she sings it a little
Mhm.
bit, so
That's
it
the
comes.
thing. Is
It
like,
becomes a little bit more aggressive in the song in the third
Yeah.
verse, Like,
well, that's the
like-
thing is like it has to become a different part altogether. It's technically it's a third verse, but it's got to be something that moves it forward.
Yeah,
still.
exactly.
Right.
It's got to be part of the story. Like I mean, I don't play instruments, so a lot of times lyrics make a big difference for me.
Mhm.
And
It's good to have your perspective.
it's
to
gotta be. Yeah, you've got to be able to include if you're gonna have that third verse. It's got to complete the story too.
Mhm.
And it's the same with the music as it is with the lyrics, right? Like, otherwise, it's kind of a wasted time, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and that's
a good way to look at it.
That's
I mean,
I think that's also the thing that Evan's getting at is that there's like this sense of like treading water.
Yeah,
That
which
like that's where long songs get boring.
like Pink
Right.
Floyd.
and that was like we were.
He's
were
gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. I knew it.
no. Actually, I
You
Dark-
can agree, but also love Pink Floyd.
Yeah, no, I like Dark Side of the Moon. So
Yeah.
that's
Everybody
that
likes
matters.
it.
Which is there is actually no Dark Side of the Moon, just so you guys know,
Yeah, I mean,
Why not? What do you mean?
because the sun
How
still
would-
hits the other
how
side.
would we
of
have a
the...
new moon then? I mean, where'd this? Yeah,
How does
it's hitting
How
some
does
part
it
of the
still
moon.
hit the other side of the moon?
Hey, the moon is a disc above a sphere, so
a
that's all you
plate
gotta know.
above a fish eye.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
cat eye.
We
You
live
guys-
in a flat Earth
we're
world.
a flat
again.
Earth.
Yeah,
Lance
that's
is a
right.
flat earther,
Yeah,
Oh boy.
and he also believes that George Bush walked in and chopped down the World Trade Centers with an axe.
he's also a lizard.
He is. He's a
Yeah.
reptilian.
Are you getting? Is he gonna get his tongue slit in the middle? So you're like,
He already does. It just comes apart when he
Oh.
wants it.
yeah,
Oh.
like the move. Like speaking of V,
For Vendetta.
no V the series,
Right.
they pull their masks off and their faces are like.
I love
big
the
things. I'm
original.
like, how do they scrunch their face inside the fucking mask?
Mm, yeah.
These are the important questions.
The original was awesome. I watched that at too young of an
Right.
age, probably
Back
too.
to
but it's
songwriting.
awesome.
Anyway,
So okay, I do have a question actually. I had a couple of things written down. I do want to ask you this if it makes sense what we're talking about. I mean, like
nothing
when you
has
think
made
about
sense so far. So
that's my fault.
That's why this
actually.
is the flummery.
But how do you want what you're doing now to be remembered or thought of as part of your musical career? Because obviously you're not just going to stop right now.
right.
So it does what you've done so far. I mean, and every band evolves, but how does that reflect what your ultimate vision is? Because I bet you've sat there and just thought about, you've projected throughout like what it's going to be like, what your dreams are, what you're thinking about.
Right. Well, I mean, like most really successful bands have quite a few albums. I mean, you look at Rush, you look at Metallica, and all these bands that have like 20 albums almost. Rush is probably on like 22 or 23. But
Iron Maiden.
But then
311.
you sit down and like, well, that's something else. You sit down and you actually look at what you have recorded that's out there. Like we have The Moon and the Fool, and then we have the self-titled EP. It's like that's two things, compared to a huge array of things that could possibly happen in the future. And you don't want to be that band that has that first couple things be the only thing that you focus on for the rest of your career, So I'm always looking at trying to, create a different sound as a songwriter. And with some of the newer ones, I feel like it's a different sound, but still like, you are who you are as a songwriter. It's always going to sound like your songs. But just doing something a little different every time. And changing, you don't want to be at the same time that band that puts out the same album every time.
No.
Yeah.
Well, especially now that you guys are kind of coming into this as a 4-piece,
right?
And you and I have
So
talked about this
cool
before
change.
that it's going to be a different dynamic as far as like, because I remember when I used to play with 3-Pill back in the day. When I joined, I used to be in 3-Pill Morning. I'm still wearing the shirt. Too,
Yeah.
which is
That's
sort of-
awesome.
That's nerdy.
He's got
As long as you don't wear it
He's
to
got
the
the underwear
concert.
on too.
I
And
do.
he's
As
still
long as you
Dude,
don't
we
wear it to
did
the
underwear.
concert.
Did you really?
We did.
The girls or the guys?
Yes, it was girls. They were thongs, and I dated,
Thrundies?
and I dated a girl who was a fan of the band, and every now and then it's like, she dropped trout, and it's like wearing my
You
band's
groupied it?
underwear.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
sort of like,
Have
this is
your
a
guys'
little weird
faces-
for me.
Is it your faces like
No.
Mount Rushmore?
Oh, God, that would have been great. But no, like the whole idea of like writing for a different context, because you're not going to have another guitar player, is going to change how you write. Because it's like, okay, cool, that means I can fit more crap into one guitar part. Play a bigger one guitar part as opposed to like layering guitar parts and making it sound like more than one person. It's just a different angle.
And that's been refreshing for me, like going into these new songs, knowing
Yeah, you're thinking different now.
It's one guitar part, and it's kind of like, how can I make that guitar part that I would have written something else? You know?
Right.
And it's really, it opens up your mind to like experimenting with other sounds and just making songs sometimes be less.
Right.
And still
Yeah.
being good songs.
Right.
It doesn't have to
You gotta-
be.
You don't have
jam-packed
to
with-
add a bunch of filler in it, but you can just make what's there
Yeah.
more potent.
And this is actually the first time that I've ever been in a band, any band since high school, as the only guitar player. I've always had some other guitar player, so this is all new territory for me.
Yeah.
And it's been helpful, like creatively, to get me
Right.
thinking about new songs. So
Yeah, it's just it's a whole different thing.
yeah, and I know
Writing is, you're going to be the only guy.
you're in the same situation now, Lance. Are you?
We're
feeling-
not making any hard moves yet. We're just
Right.
we're gonna get this done, and we're actually probably gonna guest solo a couple people on it. But I know Josh would like to have another guitar player. I would too, but we're not in any rush right now.
Yeah.
We're not. And I don't want to just fill the spot.
It's the
to fill
wrong time to do
fill
it.
the spot.
Too. You gotta
And that's-
focus.
We've already had 2 unsuccessful things happen, and it's unfortunate. But we're just gonna kind of roll with it right now. You know.
It's funny you say like the wrong time, because like I've seen it in a few places where like, a band thinks they have to have the extra guitar player or whatever, and like getting that chemistry with people that you can work with and turn out quality work. Like if you work fine as one guitar, bass, drums, and a singer, make the record that way, and then figure out if you can do it with that lineup, or if you need to add the other player.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Can we add a
you know,
studio guy or somebody that we know was reliable?
Well,
Like,
we're doing what
that
we
would be
planned
what
with
you
this
do.
one
The other
right
thing's
now.
a little more emotional. I think.
We had 2 guitar players, and it was written that way. So that
Right.
we have to move. We have to put those out the way
Yeah.
we had the idea. Moving forward, who knows?
It's
Yeah.
like you got, you don't want to be like get drunk and meet somebody and just trying to mush it in there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You want it to feel right.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I'm sorry. I
Just
can't.
gotta open it up.
I
No,
wanted
I
to
know.
keep it serious because it was really good. I'm really sorry.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
I walked behind
I really
Ian
appreciate
earlier,
it.
and he said he
This is
felt me.
good
So
music.
I mean,
It's true, yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
Inside of
it
you.
is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Inside of
It's a
you.
snug little
I've
corner
been
here.
doing stuff under the table the whole time anyway.
I thought I felt something, but I'm still a little
Have
numb.
you seen my hands? It's the first time they saw my hands.
No, because there was that time where you were doing this thing, and we then saw it on
Oh,
the
that's
thing, and
true.
we couldn't figure out why
I'll do
you
it
were
again
doing
just
this.
so I can
Yeah,
be confused
exactly.
again in 3
He's like,
minutes.
I've got a strange form of arthritis. Hand me
Which-
my keys.
By the way, I have a great video of Chris. I'm just gonna leave it there. No, when we were in
We're
South
ready.
Carolina recording with Eric Bass of Shinedown,
Name
Pronouncing it
dropper.
wrong, it's Eric Bass.
he did the drums, just the actual drums for the takes, and then he took away the drums and did just the cymbals for the takes. So there's this hilarious video that I took of Chris where he's just sitting there doing the drums, and then there's this part in Perfect Chambers where he hits the crashes like this.
Because he's just playing that by himself
Yeah, it's-
in that tape.
Because it's like da 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 da, and then it's like da 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 da. So he's just, but he's still doing the movements when the cymbals aren't there.
Right.
So it just looks like he's playing the drums, and he just goes. But yeah, he does that basically a dozen times in the song.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite videos.
That's good.
That is a difficult
Unscripted.
technique to get right.
Yeah.
To be able to record that way. Like
Yeah.
all the Queen's records get done that way too, apparently.
Really?
I've seen some video of like Dave Grohl like doing the cymbal overdubs. He's like, "This is really hard. Whose
That's
idea
crazy.
was this?"
Just pissed.
I'm pretty impressed with Chris to be able to adapt that way and be able to play with. Well, I mean, with no cymbals, I can kind of see that being the easier one. But with no drums and you're only playing the cymbals and you're still doing the movements,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're not getting any feedback on this. Like,
Yeah, that'd be weird. Just trying to
that's
think
so-
about it.
Yeah,
That would be weird.
You,
wouldn't it?
you
Yeah,
definitely have to wear your head a little different to
Yeah,
get
it'd be
it
like
done.
playing half the notes but still doing
Yeah.
the movements without hitting the strings.
I mean, you listen to the songs
Right.
and it's like you would never guess that. But
Right.
That's interesting to
But
think
yeah,
about.
and I mean it's an old technique. Like that's been
I,
going
I
on.
never really knew that.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't know that.
Just so they can isolate it so that it can be more crisp for each? Or,
Well,
like,
no,
I don't
it's
know.
the big thing is like cymbals are the most obnoxious instruments ever made. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and the thing is like especially back in the day when guys started doing this, there was no good way or no
Oh.
easy way to like add more real room sounds to drums. And if you had a drummer who was hitting the cymbals too hard,
Can't
get
meter
into
the level.
everything.
You're washing out other sounds.
Right, and so like the room mics, the mics you got like way far away from the drum kit, they pick up everything. And like you want the big ambient
Yeah.
space of like, an expensive recording studio sort of room. Like that's why those rooms exist. You want the sound of that room. But with the cymbals just crushing everything, you can't use those microphones for much.
Right.
So what some guys started to do was like, okay, this drummer is apparently a complete shithead.
Being obnoxious on the
I guarantee
It's
that's
just
where
cymbal
it's-
asshole. He's a cymbal asshole.
Right.
yeah, the Dave Grohl of the world.
Right, like he he swings his purse at his snare drum, but then hits the hi hat like it raped his
The
sister.
Chris Morleys of the world. You know. I'm sorry.
but I'm sure this is where that technique
Just kidding.
oriented or originated. Excuse me.
Right.
And then it became a thing of like, oh, we can do this, and now we have all this clean drum like room mics, and then we just put the cymbals in over top.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
And you
so it
can
was-
meter the level to be a little bit down so that it sounds more like better. Just,
Yeah. Yeah, and it is a natural sound, Then you're
Mhm.
using the.
Mm-hmm. Have you
real
done that
drums.
before?
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to subject drummers to that sort of torture.
Yeah, it's gotta be tough. I
It's
bet
gonna be
you-
time consuming too. So
It-
it's almost like you'd have to do it in a major
And
production.
you guys popped those
You know what I
songs
mean?
out in a week, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
It was 2 weeks
Sweet.
for 4 songs, and then we added on Child after the fact. So basically, it sounds like most people who aren't musicians think, oh yeah, 4 songs, you just go in there. and
No,
you
there's a
play
lot
them
of
and-
fucking little dude.
Yeah,
doodad
but like
shit you
we
do.
were 12-hour days every day for
Yep.
2 weeks. Like we were sleeping in the live room on couches, and
Yep.
Yep.
it was literally down to the wire getting these things tracked, and then he mixed it when he was on the road. So like it was jam packed. Barely got the 4 songs out, and then, but yeah, Child was after the fact.
But you did Child with him?
We We sent him actually ones that Zach had recorded with Ian. Guitar tracks and vocal tracks as well. And he basically took those, added a couple other parts to it. He added drums to it.
Yeah,
it was originally just acoustic, and
we did drums for that.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I sent drums, I think. I don't know if it was the drums that ended up in the arrangement.
Yeah, I think he added drums, he added the bass part, and he added all the distorted guitars and stuff. Because originally, like, what we wanted to do was
what it turned into.
It was just straight up acoustic.
Yeah,
that was the initial intent of it.
That was the initial intent, and when we were pre-proing with Ian originally, he was like, "Well, we can make this into a big thing," and we were like, "Oh, no, let's just keep it acoustic." And then we went down
but
there.
Then Eric Bass says it, and you guys will do it.
And then, and it was like, well, yeah, that sounds pretty damn good.
Are you a little bit of jealousy?
No, I'm
just listen to me from now on.
Yeah. But that turned out pretty good.
No, it's evident the work that it is evident if you listen to The Moon and the Fool, like the work that you guys did was. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is a legit. You can't when you buy an album from a band that isn't, getting full-time play on the radio, they're not touring all the time, and it sounds like it came from any major studio. You know what I mean? You can tell the difference. Like, I used to buy, like rap albums and stuff when I'd see people on the street with them. I'd be like, yeah, it's $5. Give me that thing. Let's see. And I mean, the production value is just so horrible. And you're like, but then when you get an album that sounds like an album should sound, you can just tell the difference. It's so cool to be able to do that with less. It's kind of like what Nance did with our sound on the podcast. Like, you listen to a lot of podcasts and it's like ting ting or in a tin tinny.
Yep.
It sounds like they're in a garage, and I love this
Bill
part.
Burr does.
Oh yeah, Bill Burr's podcast.
He didn't invest a whole lot in the sound, and you can tell the difference, and it's just something I appreciate when you listen to that. I mean, it's obvious, you guys put the time and effort into the sound.
That's
And the volume, it's like a volume kind of, not volume high, but like
you're filling spaces.
Fill the volume
Yeah.
on that album, on those tracks, in a good way, a really solid professional way.
Well, and Ian doesn't skimp on he doesn't skimp on anything. Like, he sent there was I won't say what it was, but there was this project where the person being recorded was just like, we don't want this to be anything special. We just want it recorded, and we just want to put this out to have it out. And Ian, it was something that Ian even sent me to do some work on it on the drums.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And and it was a lot of work, and it's like Ian ended up putting way more time into it and making it actually sound flawless,
professional.
Yeah,
above and beyond what they wanted out of it.
Yeah, it was.
Just because that's the nature of how you work. It's hard to put out something that you're not proud of.
You don't want to put shit out there and
no.
people hear it and be like, "Oh, this guy, I don't want this guy doing my stuff."
Well, and it came down to a mindset thing for me. Like a bunch of years ago, when I really started doing this seriously. Like, the difference is, like you're saying, like when you buy an album, you're like, oh, this sounds like something professional, something legit, right? Like, I wanted the bands I worked with to have the confidence in their own work, to be able to sell it that way, because there is that thing of and if we've all been in bands where you're not 100% sure about what you're putting out, and you go well, Evan hasn't, because I've done most of the stuff he's done. But
it's been Cold Crashing Daylight.
But
it actually turned out, that was mind blowing when I heard those for the first time.
They turned out really good.
Cold Calling Kingdoms.
But as a band, having that confidence of being able to just hand someone a CD and then have them hand you money, and you don't if it's kind of a substandard product of your own, you kind of go
I don't want to get
just
call.
a little bit.
Terrible studio owner.
I don't see. That's what when we do this, I don't want to feel that way at all.
Exactly.
When we do this, I'm like, this I mean, this has to, I want it to be the best thing that I've done so far.
And that's the that became kind of my standard. Is this something that if I had to go and I was in the band and I had to hand it to someone and take their money from them, would I feel good about that?
Right. You should hear
personally.
You should hear By Way of Morning Light, a Conscious Divide's first release.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
What was the name of the second one that I bought?
There's like no dynamics to the drums. I use pre-recorded
Was
drums.
Jason on that?
Yeah.
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 I've heard it.
Yeah.
What was the name of the
I love
second one?
like if I could go back and I want to go back and redo those songs because I love some of the riffs and I love the songs. It's just there's no good like all the production shit, just shit. You know, and I was
You were
doing it
just
all
starting.
I was doing it all myself.
Yep.
You know.
That's how that's how I started.
Well, the second
with
one
bands
was
I
much
in.
better. What was the
Well,
name
we
of the
went
second
to
one?
Signature Tone
Yep.
Studios for that one.
Yep. Did you work with Adam?
No, the guitar. He's not there anymore. He was a guitar player for one of the sludge bands. He's one of their engineers.
Will?
No. Dark, long, curly hair. Played a PRS. Glasses. He went back to school.
Steve
Steve.
Henningsgaard.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's a super nice guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Loved him. And we used to play shows with him at the Hexagon Bar all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know. I knew. You know, it's funny. I met Steve on like internet forums for audio engineers.
yeah, he's a good dude. He
Yeah.
knows what he's doing too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he did go back to school, and he's like
So
got a real kid's job, and he's making money. and shit.
yeah. He just kind of said the music
Sorry.
business. He's like, all right, see you later.
Yeah, he's smarter than all of us.
Yeah. So we did 2 songs with him, and they sounded great, but I didn't get time to dial in stuff, the tones and stuff that I wanted with him.
Yep.
So it sounds great, but it's not what I wanted it to sound like, really. You know.
Yeah.
Like the recording's good, but not like what I wanted. You
Mm-hmm.
know. Because we literally rented Signature Tone for 2 days, and we had to pound it out.
Yep.
So.
Which you know, not I won't talk shit on doing that either because it's fun too.
Mhm.
There is an excitement to that. Where
Yeah.
It's like I've got 2 days.
Right.
It's like I worked with some bands recently where in the last couple of years where it's like we're gonna get all our rhythm tracks done over a weekend. Like how many? Well, we're gonna do like 4 a day.
Yeah.
You know, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if the band's good and they bring in
Well, I mean,
half
even
decent
with the
gear and
drums with
stuff,
Josh,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
it took over half the day to set up the fucking drums
Well, yeah.
with the mics and
He's
everything.
got
Yeah.
a full kit.
Yeah, he's a little obnoxious.
Well, I started realizing why my projects at McNally Smith just weren't turning out. It's because you book out the studio for 4 hours. You spend the first hour and a half setting up whatever you need to set up. Usually it was a drum kit and other stuff. And then you got to mic it all, and then you got to get it all running into the board. And you got to get signals right. You're already 2 hours into the recording time. You record for an hour, and then you got to tear it all down, and that's all you can get done
Right.
for the day.
Yep.
Because if you're late, they dock you on that, and
Right.
they won't rent you the studio again if you're like 30 minutes late getting out of the studio because someone has it booked after you
Yeah,
for another 4
you're like
hours.
red listed off or
Yeah.
checked off, and they
Black-
don't deal
yeah,
with
It's
you.
like,
Yeah,
why are
blacklisted.
these not sounding very good? It's like, well, I was rushing the entire time,
Right.
and
Yep.
trying to get 3 songs recorded
And
in an
that's
hour.
and that's a huge thing, and that's why so many local bands run into that trap. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
I always
how long's your record? 50 minutes. So I don't know, a couple hours that should get us done, right? Like, no.
We'll play it
That's
twice
why.
for you.
That's why you said we should do this in 2 days. We have it set up, and then take a couple tracks, and then we had that next Sunday,
Yep.
and then
Yep. And we got well. And the other side of it too is, you got to manage the people. Like your drummer's energy is a finite resource.
yeah,
Josh is he loves playing.
Yeah.
Like, and you can tell, and he's all like chomping at the bit, excited to play.
Yeah.
Like pretty much all the time.
Perfect.
yeah, yeah.
We love the pop tops and
But
the
even
pop
with guys,
offset.
but even with guys
the
like that,
beers.
you need a lot of concentration. You need a lot of energy, and we had the time that we could go. Can we make this better? Let's just go in and record it one more time, and,
Right.
and we didn't have to worry.
And you
about
did a lot of full takes too. You're
Yep.
just like Josh, just play through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where when you have that, and I don't even look at that as a luxury. Like that's just a necessity.
Right.
Like, and we didn't take a ton of time or spend an obscene amount of money doing it. That there's a balancing act to be found as a producer, like trying to keep budgets together and all that. But like, no, just go in, play, and then go have a good lunch.
Yeah.
Like go eat like good food
Right.
that makes you sweat and
Be
nearly
a
cry.
human. Yeah.
Fa.
that place
yeah.
was so good though.
Yeah.
I've been fucking jamming that place ever since.
Good lunch is pretty.
Oh,
vital.
were you talking about the Mexican place? you
Yeah,
went to?
Maya.
Yeah.
That place was so good.
Yeah.
Have you? Oh,
Oh.
it's right up on Central.
Yeah.
Go
Over
check
by
it out.
Jason's house.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Mhm.
dude.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
That's not right in the right. What's the one that's right by Jason's house on the same?
I don't know.
One or two blocks.
Yeah, this is
away?
a little south of Jason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is closer to
This is a
Danny's
place that has
actually.
karaoke. So
Yeah, no, this place is. This
Yeah, it's
place
like a fucking, it's like a city in there too.
It is.
Hmm.
It is.
do they have a waterfall with people diving into it?
They. I think they had a waterfall. No,
think
no,
so. Really?
No, they had a water fountain. Sorry.
Oh.
You get in there and
It
you're
wasn't
like,
Casa
and then
Bonita.
You
That's
feel
what
like you're in
Casa
a
Bonita.
like it's cool because you feel like you're in an alleyway or something.
Yeah.
In that middle part, and then
Yep.
there's a bar in the back. And
Yeah,
Do you
tequila
feel like you're
bar in
part
back.
of a club?
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, nice.
Yeah, no, go check it out, dude.
I'll
It's
check it out.
Maya. It's legit.
But no, it is funny whenever I hear someone like talk about like music these days, where it's like, yeah, anyone can just record anything they want at home, and it's like that. People
Yeah.
think that people can just put together this amazing music at home.
Takes,
It's like, yeah, you can, but you can't.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, literally, yeah, people can.
I mean,
You cannot.
I know where I've started and where I am, and if I could go back and do it, I would. But like all my stuff that I've done on Pro Tools, it's all a learning experience. Like I'm still not anywhere, that level, but my shit sounds definitely a lot better than it was when I
Oh
first
yeah.
fucking started recording.
Oh, for sure. And it's a basics thing. I mean, really, if you know fundamental stuff,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that's so easy to pass over is you're like learning it because you have to learn all the technology and learn all the stuff, and then you immediately go past like, okay, here's all the boring fundamentals,
Right.
and you go to like, oh, what are all the fancy guys doing? I'll
But
do
that's-
that, and
yeah,
then you
that's what
never
you need to
really
make it sound
understand
good.
Exactly.
You need, yeah.
I
You
mean,
gotta
like,
spend the time, decide what you're going to spend the time on, and hopefully you decide that I'm just going to make sure that this sounds really good, and maybe I'll have like one less song or whatever, but it has to be good.
Right, or it's going to take me an extra couple of days
Right.
Yeah.
to do this all, and yeah, I'm going to have to sacrifice some downtime, or I'm going to have to leave this shit up. In my
Who's
living
that
room
guy
or
you
whatever.
showed me today that was talking about building the chorus? Tim
Gila douche.
Tim Pierce.
Tim Pierce.
Tim
yeah.
Pierce, yeah, brilliant guitar player that dude is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if you're throwing up like a Timbaland loop or whatever. Like, it's your vocals, if you're rapping over it, are still gonna sound like garbage. Like,
Right.
you can't half-ass it. You can't just open a program and
Yeah,
just do
no,
it.
exactly.
yeah, you got to know at least a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you wrote the lyric. You said you wrote the lyrics to the first two.
Yeah, I wrote lyrics for Resolution and Let It Burn.
Okay.
I wrote lyrics. Wow.
It's all that IPA
Sorry?
you're
It's
drinking.
that IPA, it's just getting
It'll
A lot of
choke
beer
ya.
and dick.
lots of coffee and IPA.
I thought you
No,
were going to say something else.
Call what?
That's a coffee.
for Cold Kingdom
Coffee?
songs, I think I've
Sorry.
I've written Let It Burn and Resolution lyrics. I wrote the lyrics on The Break and Perfect Chambers, and I think that's all of them.
I like Perfect Chambers.
Everything else is Danny.
Good.
Yeah.
So
Good. Like Surrender. Danny.
Surrender's
Yep.
Danny.
I'm not gonna,
That's
that,
fun.
I love that song too, but
Yeah.
Resolution. Is
I
really
talk about
cool.
this with Jason, but like
Yeah.
one of our shows as a conscious divide, we I think we were playing Triple Rock, and Euphera
Mhm.
was
Yep.
opening for us, and that's I remember like
Ding.
yeah.
Just kidding.
She was playing keyboards and singing, and it was a different beast. But like that's my first experience with Danny is when she was with Euphera, and I was like, wow, she's good. You know how, and it's weird that Jason and I played with her at that show, and then all of a sudden it's weird how the circle comes around. And
She was one of our good friends' daughter's piano teacher
Yep.
before
Yeah.
she
Wow.
stopped.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
It is funny how that works because in the band I was in, Crashing Daylight, before Cold Kingdom, years ago, we actually had Ryan Lee from 3 Pill Morning was our bassist for like 4 months,
Yep.
and like towards the end he was like,
really
yeah, he started saying like, we should add this girl I know. She plays piano and she sings really well. It'd be really good to just add some depth to this band, and it just didn't really end up happening at all. And it was kind of towards the end of the band anyway. And then I start doing the Cold Kingdom stuff. Ian recommends a female vocalist, and it just happens to be that exact same.
And how did you know
person.
her?
I knew Danny through Gary.
Okay.
Through Gary Paul from Emergent, because they were dating at the time, and I just thought of it, and because we were kind of exploring options, and Evan had kind of specifically said like I wanted a female singer,
Mhm.
and we explored some options there, and then I thought about it, and I was like, well, let's check out Danny, and I pulled up some Euphera videos, and I was immediately like, yeah, this could be our
Right.
gal.
I was pretty lukewarm on it.
You're a little.
I listened to the Ufera stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's not really my style, and
Doesn't
just
match.
wasn't really I wasn't really feeling it.
Yeah.
But then we had her come in, and she started tracking, and when we got to Let It Burn,
The first line
of Let It Burn in that verse, she just wailed on it, and we both were just blown away. Like,
Yeah.
I was trying to like contain the amount of excitement that I had from hearing this.
Did you have a boner? I
Yeah,
mean, not
I
the
mean,
sense
a lyrics
towards her-
boner?
A lyrics boner.
A
or-
lyrics boner, yeah. Like to go with my regular boner.
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
like this, yeah. This is,
I can't express enough how important it is to know all the different classifications of boners.
But
yeah, I like
moving
it.
on.
I the first time I heard her sing that, like one of my thoughts was like, I'm gonna be rich.
Well, I remember like you
Which
and
I'm
me
not,
just like
but-
looked at each other and we were like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, she nailed it.
And
Like,
she was
like,
like,
pretty
kind of
much
like,
Where did you do the vocals at?
I was at my old place in Coon Rapids.
Okay.
In the basement of a house in Coon Rapids where I one time pulled the ceiling tile down out of the basement ceiling and had a hypodermic needle fall on me. I was
Well,
directly
you know,
into your
AIDS and that-
eyeball.
I mean, it's been old. It's not, the only thing you,
Yeah.
the only thing you're gonna need is a tetanus shot.
Exactly.
Because
You
AIDS
hope.
doesn't fucking
live in the air.
live-
Yeah, I know.
7, like, yeah, I feel like
That
a
house
day.
was a
yeah.
trip, dude.
I feel
That
a
like
day.
that whole so
Sounds fun. Can I visit?
no, it's someone else owns it now.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Should we visit? Just knock on the
maybe we
door.
should.
Hey, that's some pretty historic times here, bro. Can we stop in?
Yeah, we made a future classic record.
Sure,
in
guys.
that-
Want
in
to
that
share a
basement.
needle?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in that basement.
yeah, lots of time.
I
Yeah.
can only imagine. Did you guys pull out the gimp ball?
No,
No.
I don't know what that is.
Never
Gimp ball?
Oh, he hasn't seen Pulp Fiction.
yeah,
But you know like a
yeah,
ball.
the ball gag, yeah,
The ball
yeah.
gag,
yeah.
some leather
Do you
straps.
have one of those?
No,
he's,
No, I
he's
don't.
curious now.
Not yet.
It's like-
No.
I mean, there were
This
a lot of
week.
things in that house.
dude. So
There was-
You really pulled a tile and there's a fucking.
a hyperdermic needle fell.
Did
and
it
at that-
stick you?
No,
Then
it was
28
capped.
days
It was
Oh.
capped, but still, a hypodermic needle fell out of my fucking ceiling. It was weird, man.
Makes a
Not
good story.
what
But
you
you got a
wanna-
lap steel out of it.
I
so
did,
it's good.
yeah. So this house, so the story with this house was it was owned by a guy who was a hoarder, and he ended up getting pulled into state care because he also turned out to have early onset dementia, and we had to clean this place out to move into it. We filled a 30-yard dumpster in about 6 hours.
Oh.
It took us months.
Was there like pathways?
Yes. So let's put it this way. We started just burning shit because we couldn't throw it all away. We had like a bonfire going constantly.
Oh my god.
We
That's where all
burned-
the oil went.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
burned like 17 bags of like mail.
Oh,
Like
wow.
mail.
Oh,
Just
you
like,
didn't check for credit cards or anything?
well, I mean, yeah. We found $500 and I found a lap steel, but like, yeah, that was about it. But yeah.
You found some cash too.
Oh yeah, there was like $500 in the bottom of
boy.
like a hamper.
Oh,
Just
where I
That,
keep
that
my
covered the
money.
dumpster.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was all very very handy. But yeah, it was the
that's
shit.
insane.
I wonder whatever happened to. There was a box of like boner pills,
Oh.
A
like,
box?
of
like a
them.
box, like a 12 by 12 by 12 box,
Think he's ever gonna get any chick to go in there?
full of boner pills.
Wow.
What'd you do
Yeah.
with those?
That was his pickup line.
I'll
now.
hit you up later. I'll let you know.
That was the only way he could get women to go there was I've got so many boner pills.
It's not gonna be a
Yes.
problem. I'm telling you right now. I'm not gonna mush it in there.
no.
I got boner pills.
So many boner pills.
You got ass for days. I got boner pills for weeks.
Literally, I could have taken boner pills on the hour every hour for probably 2 weeks straight. It was amazing. I don't think that would have been healthy, but I could have done it.
I think they recommend that.
What's that?
That's fun.
I don't know.
Did you guys end up
Just some
watching
More unprofessional soundings.
that
Yeah.
the
It's in here?
SpaceX
I did.
launch?
You said something to me, and I'm like, "What?" And then I watched it. Did you see them landing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking
dude, me and
so
him were
cool.
watching that together.
I stopped working at
I was like,
2:30 in the afternoon.
"Ah!"
You were
'Cause I
doing
knew-
this, and they were Dutch ruddering.
Yeah. I was like, "Fuck
It was either gonna be a massive explosion If you
Which
know
would be
what I
sweet to watch.
or that result where it's 2 boosters landing
Oh,
side by
how
side
fucking
and
cool.
a car in
And that's
space.
my birthday,
like,
bitches.
You know what?
Yeah.
We don't really need wings. We're just gonna.
Yeah,
Done.
done. Use them
How-
again. Book
Has
fuel.
anyone
How
seen the video
easy
of
is
the
it to get
third
laid?
booster yet, though?
Not yet.
No.
But,
Goddamn,
And that's
I
what you
wanted-
were saying
I-
to me, right?
I had a
You
feeling
land
like
that one too?
because we
No,
were
it
watching
crashed.
we were watching it live. It was supposed to land on the drone ship,
Yep.
and they were. I had a feeling because when it was on the live stream, it was just the ship, and then it kind of like was a little shaky, and then it was just smoke and nothing on the ship, but it was
Right.
just like instant smoke, and then this camera cut out. I'm like, that's crashed.
Yeah.
That thing's gone.
And we were hoping it came in like sideways at like 800 miles an hour.
Well,
and
that's
just
the
like-
thing is, so like 2 days later, they actually announced what happened was the two of the 3 engines that are supposed to reignite for it to come back down did not ignite. So it hit the water going 300 miles an hour, which makes me think that it was
shit.
which makes me think that it was a pretty massive explosion. Just like I want there to be a video from like some ship that's a couple miles away, and it's just the drone ship sitting there, and all of a sudden you see this rocket coming in like this,
Like a
and it
fucking
just
heated cake.
smash.
yes.
Yeah, that's all I
Oh,
want.
think about
Did
how
you
cool-
guys see one of the pictures they released from like the front of the car looking back at Earth?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's very fucking cool.
Dude.
And Earth like is like
how
about, like, this big in the back.
egomaniacal is what's his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. It's like-
Yeah.
Dude, I
Just
think
me
it's
in a car.
baller. I think he
It's
is
totally cool.
such a baller.
I'd
Yeah.
suck his dick.
Well, think about it this
I
way
might
too.
give him a hand job in the shower. I don't think I'd go
And
as
that's the
far as
difference
you.
between like the government, and like private enterprise, how they would think of something. No, we're not going to waste these rockets. We're going to learn how to land them fucking backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus
We're just
Christ.
gonna land.
Also, how easy is it to get laid if you're like, yeah, I was one of the engineers on the SpaceX project. I did the final calculations
Heavy.
to land the blasters.
You would get a very
Late.
specific
You're late.
subset of chicks, but yeah, it would be an
Guaranteed
like
there's
if you
some
if
real
you
winners
marketed
in there.
that properly, it'd be.
But you guys
Done.
know that picture with Earth in the background. That's NASA engineered. They made that up. That's
They
not
faked
real.
Oh
that.
yeah,
They
of course.
faked that.
Duh.
Fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you
first
can
of all,
see how
it's
it's
round.
a disc.
Yeah, it's a disc.
You can see it's just a flat disc in the background. Like that's
No
pretty
matter
much
what
proves
angle it's at,
everything.
it's a flat
Uh-huh.
disc that just follows any camera.
yeah. I mean,
Yep.
it's like
Yeah,
a treadmill.
no matter where you are.
It's like a treadmill.
Yep.
It just
It's an
keeps...
ingenious disc.
It is.
Yeah.
I believe we
Luckily-
call those spheres, but
Yeah.
never mind.
You know what? Maybe it's a little beyond your
They-
comprehension.
They
Ian.
were talking to this one this
We'll
guy
talk
that
to you a
did
little
like
bit more about
spacewalks
it
and was
later.
working on like some of the satellites, and he was doing repairs and
It's like
stuff.
a McDonald's breakfast menu in the
Why did
drive-thru.
I
It just
just get
flips
sick?
over.
Such a so
Sorry.
how
Sorry.
much time and energy would it take to lie about that? I mean, that's just amazing. You know?
Well, and what was it?
I recently saw something that said it would have cost more money to fake the moon landing shots than to actually go to the moon and do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Now I have like, we all have like Super HD and stuff, and you watch the first Star Wars and you see a TIE fighter go by, you see the little black box behind it go,
Yep.
and even if you like tune your TV right. So if it was fake, any like forensic, video person would be able to pick out the things and be like, oh, this was definitely faked because of this and this, and then they overlapped this. Like,
Yep.
it'd be so easy to pick apart with digital media.
Yeah.
And
It'd be so easy.
Elon Musk actually said,
And he wasn't alive to fake it then.
Oh
so.
yeah, his press conference afterwards was pretty funny. One of his first
It's like-
comments was, "You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. If we were actually gonna fake it, our CGI would be much better than this." And then like they were asking him like how he felt about his car being in space, and his response was, "Well, I'm kind of tripping balls about it right now, to be honest."
That's
I
what
know
he said.
That's what
Yeah.
he said.
I know microdosing's a big thing in that community. But
Yeah. Did we have a discussion? We had a little discussion about that.
Did
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Microdosing
Microdosing.
LSD.
I have
Really?
no idea.
I find the idea super fascinating.
Well, there's a lot of programmers and
Yeah.
people
So
that
it just
do it now.
makes you a little
You're not-
just kind of loopy.
It
and-
makes
No.
you creative and it makes you think sharper, and
Yep.
but you're not seeing walls breathe at the same
Yes.
time too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently it's like small doses.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be a fascinating.
That's crazy.
I wish it were legal.
I don't think
Yeah.
And
he,
it's
I don't
stupid
think
that
he,
it isn't.
I don't think he actually meant tripping balls.
Well,
but-
he
No, I
might have
know.
been. Who knows? That
Who
dude's got
knows?
enough money that he can get away with pretty much
Elon
anything.
Musk, this just in, we're the first to break the story is tripping balls on LSD most of the time.
That would be fantastic.
But no, he's like you
It'd
can
be
tell
good for the
he's just a
CIA.
guy.
They'd be like, "See, no problem. What's,
What's the
no
deal?
boyfriend, no problem."
Wow.
Sorry, I just sometimes
love that.
go there.
if you can like stay in that character the entire time for the rest of the podcast, that'd be great.
No boyfriend, no problem. Now I'm tripping balls.
Yes.
But no, he's just some guy who owns a space company and Tesla.
Right.
You know, did you? Okay, so you hear a little of his backstory. Like,
Yeah.
He was like trying to find cheaper rockets, so he went to Russia, and they were going to use some of the ballistic nukes or whatever rockets. He was going to like use them and like refurbish them in some way.
Mm.
And they said he didn't have enough money and he wasn't experienced, or like they like laughed at him. And he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm going to do my own thing
I'll
too."
just build it.
Yeah.
That dude has been a pretty interesting study in what happens when one well-motivated guy says, "Yeah, fuck what you say. I'm just gonna do what I
Yeah.
want to do,"
Yeah.
Right.
and then has had the money to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
now he's
he-
funded by NASA too. Now,
I think
so
he can really make a huge difference. I mean, and it's happening already.
Well, and you look at, like we were talking about, which one of you guys said something about like, oh, we're gonna learn how to land these fucking things as opposed to wasting them. I think you
Right.
did,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but like, he's making it cheaper. Like they were talking about with the
and
current-
launching, he's like tenfold cheaper of what NASA used to do.
well, it's at least
Just constant improvement.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a third. Like what I like currently, it takes what like $300 million to put a satellite in orbit,
Yeah.
and they're projecting with the Falcon Heavy that they can do it for like 90.
Right. Well,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So so
huge.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but
for
my
the same
Comcast
orbit,
bill isn't going down.
right?
And we
No.
still don't have gig.
Or I guess Dish TV.
Well, NASA's contracting him out now to supply the space station too, right? Is that what?
Well, yeah, because then we don't have to run it through Russia, which is a
Right.
terrifying place.
Well, it's such a
I hate Russia.
it's
I've
such
never
an
been.
amazing thing that like this is a company that's not, it's not like they're getting government grants. It's just the government is just paying them to do something. So none of this money has ever been like the government's gonna give you money to develop something. They just develop it, and NASA's like, "Oh, that's
Oh
convenient.
shit,
Let's
we
just use
need
that."
that.
Yeah,
Right.
can we use that real quick?
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
It's funny how like that's kind of it's sort of backwards from what NASA was.
Yeah,
That's like kind of the opposite, because NASA used to be like, we're just going to dump a bunch of money into this and we're going to
Yeah.
figure shit out.
We're gonna develop.
They
something.
were
yeah.
the innovators, and now it's like they're taking a back seat.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
what's the name of the company that there's like this mini war going on between
Blue
these two?
Origin. It's
that it?
it's between
What's-
SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX and Blue Origin. is
Blue
it?
Origin.
But there was
which
like
is-
this conspiracy theory that they shot a rocket at one of their rockets, just like from a roof of a place nearby, and
Oh, I haven't heard
like,
about
it was
that.
one of the first explosions for SpaceX where something didn't work out right.
Oh,
and they're
really?
like, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
No, I haven't heard
Just look
anything
into
about
That's
that.
pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, Blue Origin is owned by Jeff Bezos, which is Amazon. So
Another dude who
they're
has more money than
Richest
God.
man in the world now.
so they're
Is he
trying
now
to
officially?
design the same
Jesus.
thing as SpaceX. They're trying to do Mars mission. They're trying to do reusable rockets, which they've already done. They just haven't done it to the scale of
Yeah.
SpaceX.
Yeah, they're the North Korea of
Pretty much.
SpaceX.
Yeah. There's
Who-
really
who,
not
if
a
I remember right,
rivalry.
North Korea is the nation state equivalent of the short bus. If I remember that right.
Oh, yeah.
That's another interesting what's going to happen with that country in the
North
future.
Korea?
Yeah, I mean, there's that girl.
Nothing's
that came
gonna
on-
happen. It's all a show. It's all a show.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's well.
Except, I mean, Trump could
they're
really
doing
do
some
something
horrible
stupid, but we
things
don't
with
talk
people
about that
there.
stuff on this show.
no, let's not
All
delve
right.
too
We don't
far
do
into
that.
Yeah,
politics.
sorry.
We always
Which-
don't do politics, and we always don't do sports, and it's on purpose. I broke the rule, and I jinxed the Vikings.
Yeah.
Oh, you
20
dick.
bucks.
That was
Yeah.
your fault?
Pretty much.
I knew
God
it.
damn it.
The only thing I will
me and
say
Stefan Diggs.
is the Olympics. There was a Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump impersonator. They were there together at the Olympics, and they were sitting together, and they got thrown out because they were.
Are you
impersonating-
serious?
Look it up.
I think that's
They-
hilarious.
Oh my
They
god,
look-
that's great.
They look spot on, like
That's so
from
good.
a distance. From a distance, anyway.
Hey man, 6
But-
miles or 60 yards,
Hang
60
on.
miles an hour. That's all that matters
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that sort of game.
It
I want to
was
see
so
if I
good.
can find it. Oh, Here it is. This is creepy.
What is this?
This came
Vladimir
out a few years
Putin.
ago, a couple years ago. And
Oh, I've seen that before.
That's like the Burger King but
Yeah,
What am
it's
I
like
watching?
it's like a Putin mask, a Trump mask.
That's a
two
good
Trump
mask.
That's a
Those are
good
really-
mask.
those are
That's
really
a
good.
really good mask.
I like
Look at their shirts and fucking nukes.
Like, if someone the size of Donald
No,
Trump
see,
were wearing that mask,
Putin's wearing the Adidas.
What would
fucking-
kill Putin would kill if he would just Slav squat at the end of this.
What a Slav squat.
You don't know what's
Oh yeah, with the
Yeah.
kick. Yeah, the kicking. Yeah.
no Slav squat. That's not. Just Google Slav squat.
those are the scariest
Hold on.
masks
Okay,
I've
remember
ever
that
seen.
because now we're gonna do.
You need to see Slav squats if you
okay.
haven't seen Slav squats.
We're not looking up the
I know.
original video of that.
They
Hold
call
on.
them hyperflesh masks. Is there anything else you can make out of that
Hyperflesh,
hyperflesh?
they look like real faces, except hilariously huge.
Is this a video you saw?
No, this is an article.
Oh, they crashed the Olympic winter. Oh,
Well, I
There
hope
you go.
this is just straight footage though. That's what I want.
I don't care. I'll take footage.
Is this them? Should I do this one or this one?
The bottom one, that 119 one. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. let's see.
Yeah,
This just kind of shows them. I don't think we need to.
that's a nice shot.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hockey.
What'd you say about?
Oh.
You know, they can't see this, right?
No.
So we have to like radio.
Yeah.
announce
Go
it.
ahead.
Oh wait.
Oh wow, he even has the shitty hair.
Yeah, look how good that
They
is.
both
Okay,
have
well,
the. Oh wow. Yeah, that's
They
Like
need to
from a
show it
distance,
further away. Yeah.
that's
So they're just like.
60 yards and 60 miles
posing
an
and-
hour. Yeah, you would.
I think it was
That's
them.
pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's-
What we'd like to achieve by coming to South Korea at the
And they're-
Winter Olympics.
Now they're talking.
He's a
Show
musician.
the
It's a
world
huge
this
mistake.
is what peace could look like when two leaders get along. I mean, we get along personally, so I believe Donald Trump and
The
Kim
guy's like
Jong-un-
Australian or
He's
something.
He's Australian.
Australian.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
That's
maybe
fantastic.
British. I was
How
thinking
does he get-
British.
How the hell
They
does?
will. They
he said it was-
talk. They'll probably get along because,
That's
in my
Australian.
opinion, they're pretty much the same people, personally. And Dennis Rodman has confirmed this, okay, and he has met both
Dennis
of them.
Rodman.
So
Great. They're pretty much the same people. That's great. That's
what
what
My
I
I
question
hear.
here is, how does this dude?
Dennis Rodman.
How does that? How do you get your hair to do that?
I don't know.
I want to know.
There's a documentary about his hair.
Did you
isn't
see where the video of Trump going up into the plane
Yes,
and
and
the
like-
hair blows over?
Yeah, and it's like
Beautiful.
terrifying.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
event in my life, and I loved every second of it. Oh my god! I mean, Air Force One has got to be due for. Well, I better not.
Yeah, let's yeah.
Wow, I was really zoned out on that video.
No, you were talking. You were talking the whole time.
Yeah, sorry.
You're just a very
Doing
chill
it again.
talker.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're not
You're
a.
fine.
You're not that animated. It's okay.
Well, I got. What do you guys think? Should we? I think we're pretty close to 2 hours here, aren't we?
Oh, we're over.
oh Jesus.
I mean, it's not over because we jam packed it in. Honestly, like
well, and we never actually talked about the movie that we've all seen.
I like The
We-
Last Jedi.
You did?
yes, because you were able to put aside your petty differences with the director.
I like that he took a lot of risks
Okay,
That's what I
a
like.
great point. I agree with that.
because I felt like I was watching a George Lucas movie again, which
It was campy enough for that.
it was campy enough, and it was like outside the box. I mean, it was really outside.
It was
the
really
box.
outside
It
the
was
box.
Really outside the box. The whole Leia scene, I could have done without.
Okay,
Sure,
there's always
you
something you're
know,
not gonna like. That's fine.
obviously.
La la la.
I
I'm
I
not
really
listening.
loved that scene.
I'm not listening.
Are
He
you
hasn't seen it
actually
yet.
planning on
hasn't seen
seeing
it.
it?
I'm gonna have to. I will see it eventually.
Are
but
you
yeah.
are you invested, or
define
That's
invested?
the thing, though.
I
Leia
haven't
is
seen,
a Jedi. She
do you
could.
care if we
have been a
spoil
Jedi.
things? is
Well,
what
I
I'm
haven't
asking.
seen episodes 1, 2, or 3, so but who cares?
You could skip those. Yeah, you could skip those.
Right.
But no, that's kind of the main deal for me is I felt like the Force
I
Awakens.
don't like at the end when
was-
Darth Vader comes back.
Yeah, and he just like force chops everybody into sushi. Yeah. But no, the
You're a roll.
I felt like I was watching
should get some
watching
sushi.
a George Lucas movie again, and I didn't feel that way when I was watching The Force Awakens because everything was rehashed, and I felt like he did it really well. I felt like
I
The
really
Force
like that movie
Awakens.
too.
The Force Awakens was really solid for like if you're gonna come back to Star Wars and not piss people off. That's kind
Yeah,
of a
it
good way
And
doesn't-
to
introduced all new characters
Yeah.
besides a couple.
Yeah.
Right.
But like when
He
I
had
saw
it was great work by my director writer crush.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of glad that he's coming back for the third one.
Super 8
Actually,
for life.
I feel like he can tame some of the stuff that Ryan set in motion, and
Right.
kinda, like bring everything back to base a little bit. But like the moment I saw Star Killer Base, I was like,
It was
"All
annoying.
right,
That was annoying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me
What are you
off.
talking about?
Yeah.
The laser was fucking red this time. You guys are way off.
yeah,
No, it was. It was. But how badass was the scene when Poe finally gets in to the chamber with all the, I can't remember what they just called them,
the cocks,
reactors
all
or
the cocks.
stabilizers, and he just flies around and just
yeah.
and then it just establishes that he's like the best pilot now, and it just flies out and woohoo!
Yeah.
Like that was such a great scene.
So-
even though it was destroying another Death Star.
So what's our level of excitement for Solo?
I'm about a 7 out of 10.
I'm a
Yeah.
7-inch
I'm
out
pretty-
of 10-inch.
I'm pretty excited about it because like if you get something that's really overhyped, usually it's not as good as you expect it to be. The Han Solo movie is like so
Solo, a
underhyped.
Star Wars.
It
Solo,
is.
yeah.
It really
Solo
is. It
is
really
so
is.
But are they
underhyped.
doing that because they're worried?
Well, maybe, but even still, like
Here's my. Yeah, go ahead.
Usually
Sorry.
with a Star Wars movie, you get basically a full year of like, boom, these are photos from like the shooting of the film, and then you get first trailer, and then you get a second trailer, and then but this is like,
come out like boom.
yeah, it's
What
coming
did you
out in
like?
May.
What did you like most about the trailer?
I mean, I'm a huge Donald Glover fan because
That's awesome.
I watched Community,
That's
which is
legit.
Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty, did
Oh,
this show called Community, and Donald Glover was in it, and he was
He's
the
an amazing,
show.
He's
Really?
an amazing actor
Yeah,
too, though.
he
like,
was the show pretty
Okay.
much.
He can do drama and comedy, and it's just he's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I totally agree with
I'm
that.
excited for that.
Excited.
I'm anxious to see how well Alden does.
Aaron Aldenreich or whatever.
Alden, yeah, I don't.
I think
Aaron-
you're right.
Aaron Reich.
Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich?
Alden Aaron Reich.
I think you're right.
Man,
Something
he
like
something
needs
that.
to
like
pick a name.
Yeah, right. But he.
Just like Jason
I'm interested
Christopher
to see-
Michael.
Yeah, right. pick a last name in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, his middle name is Scott.
Can
Right?
at least-
Yeah,
or-
I
yeah,
think so.
not Christopher
Yeah.
Scott.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, but
Seriously, pick a last name, Jason.
I'm really
At
interested.
least
to
make it
see
Michaels.
Yeah, right.
How well he pulls off a Han Solo.
Well, then here's another thing is you have Ron Howard behind it too.
Yeah.
You only need him to do one thing
Okay,
right.
You can't expect him to be fucking Harrison Ford.
You only need him to do one thing right, and is pull off a line that sounds like the line, "You could use a good kiss." If he could,
He's got
if
a
he
point.
could,
He's got to
Wow,
do the
you
point
can
thing.
pull
yeah,
off
if
that
he could,
line.
if he could like get that where you just feel like, holy shit, that's him. 20 years earlier.
Yeah,
Then
Just
that's all you
something-
need. Just one little thing to like put it in your mind. Your mind will work the rest of the time for that.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't
Thinking
want to
he's
feel
Harrison
like
Ford.
you're watching like some different character who's like mimicking the things that Han Solo
Right.
would have done. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Well, that's got to be such a huge
Stapling his hat to his forehead.
Yeah.
That's got to be such
Oh, that was
a battle
different.
for an actor though, like to come into a character like Han Solo who is so much Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Like Harrison Ford is Han Solo.
Yeah.
I mean, like that character doesn't exist. It's not like James Bond where you have like 4 references for
Like
who could
Han
be.
Solo is Harrison Ford. Like,
Exactly.
Harrison Ford is just he's so important for all
Right.
every movie he's been in. Like it's
Right.
just-
It'd be like trying to do Indiana Jones with someone else.
right. It just
It
it's
just
hard to
would-
think of.
Like Harrison Ford is kind of himself a couple of very iconic
What's the
characters.
word for it? His
Regarding Henry. Was a movie you guys
Yeah,
ever
it
seen?
was. No, I never saw
yeah,
it, but
no,
I know it's a Harrison Ford movie.
so and what didn't you like about the trailer?
For the
So
Solo
Solo,
movie.
yeah, you saw the trailer too, right?
Yeah, I watched.
I think it was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it was everything that you needed it to be. It's not very long,
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a little more of like his dialogue as Han Solo, just to kind of get a feel of like.
You didn't see the newer extended one yet?
It's
I
like 2.5
did, but I mean,
minutes.
it's
I
all
haven't seen
one
that.
liners.
He's talking about like how he's
Yeah.
like went to the academy, like you hear him in his
Yeah.
voice in the background.
I'm worried that
Right.
the going to the academy part will be too like blah.
I just don't want it to be
But-
like him romping around with some other crew, because if it's like this whole story of like, look how close we are with this big crew of all these wonky characters, and then all of a sudden it's like the next movie you would watch, ideally after this would be episode 4. It's like, what happened to all those people that he was so close with?
Right.
You know,
Well, I have a
he never
feeling-
mentions them again.
Well, I wonder, like, maybe that's what they're going to do is show how he became a loner.
Is he gonna fall in
Besides
love with
Chewie.
Amelia Clark in this, and then now he falls in love with Leia?
Wait, is
Yeah,
Amelia
that's my
Clark in?
concern. Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
Because they've got a real
Love
good
her.
chance, like with Chewbacca
Now you
and
gotta see it.
with Chewbacca
We'll watch
and
it after we're
Solo.
done.
They've got like two of pretty much my 2 favorite characters ever of the entire thing. This has a great chance of making the entire Star Wars franchise for me. Like, I'll never not watch one, or being like your Last Jedi, which is crazy. You'll love it in 10 years, but whatever. Like you were after Last
See-
Jedi, you were like, I'm done. This is fucking wow. Right, and I'm
That's how I
worried.
felt after I watched it.
Well, I'm worried that could happen to me if they don't do it right. I just want them to do it right.
Well, to me,
My Wookiee.
Jason
For this movie-
Jason met us, and he left like
I know.
3/4 of the fucking way in the movie.
he told me.
he's opinionated, and
Wow.
yeah, that's his style though. You
That's-
think about it, that makes
man.
sense.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, where'd Jason
can
go?
picture him
Oh,
doing
he's
that.
fucking gone already."
Jason isn't stubborn.
Not at all.
Never.
But yeah, like to me, this story should be Han and Chewbacca.
For real.
And that should be the focal point, and everyone else along the way should be like
There-
added bonus. you
Yeah.
know,
Added-
like this.
yes.
That new bad guy looks badass in there though.
Chewbacca boner. No, it's that. I think it's that bounty hunter that you remember with the metal thing that goes like this, the metal breather.
Bane.
It's
Bane,
Oh, Darth
yeah.
Vader.
Yeah.
Batman.
My bad.
I
Batman.
remember the bounty
Batman.
hunter that's always looking for him, and
you
he's,
can see him on the new trailer better.
yeah, but it's
The one that isn't Boba Fett?
Let's not do it. Let's do it after we're done with the
Okay,
show.
that's
I'm
fine.
pretty excited
That's
to
fine.
see Woody Harrelson in this movie. Actually,
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, I have not been paying attention. Woody Harrelson's
dude,
in
we'll
this?
watch.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
watch it.
gonna
We'll
play
watch
it
it when
for
we're
you.
done.
Yeah.
We'll watch it
Yeah.
when we're done. We'll watch
Well-
the longer one.
So, after watching the trailer, likes and dislikes, did you like it or not?
I liked it.
We've
I
got a
liked
like.
Yay!
You didn't see it yet.
No, I saw.
That
I
was-
haven't
saw the
seen the
trailer.
extended trailer.
I have a
saw
feeling
the
that thing's
Super
not
Bowl
going to
one.
last another few episodes. Without
No, you
Lance
just
being
gotta
like,
keep
we're not doing
evolving
that
it.
anymore.
You gotta keep evolving it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not catchy enough yet. You just gotta,
Right, right.
Yeah.
Or not.
We'll write it. We can
Or
write
maybe.
Or maybe you just gotta add lyrics. You know.
Did you like it? If not, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
By
There
the
you
way, how has your day been?
go. Did you remember to get the celery at the grocery store?
I'm really hurting. Where's my Bengay?
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Breaking it down.
Oh yeah, you got.
All
You gotta
right.
go Mariah
Christina.
Carey style.
Well, let's wrap it up, and then we'll watch that trailer.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll watch it right here. Okay.
Yay.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being on.
Thank
you
you
for
for
both
having
of you.
us.
Yeah,
I
It
love
was
you.
really fun.
Yes.
This is a great show.
I'll
Indeed.
be back.
And we're out.
Shooty guns.
Peace.